I do want to say this. I do want to say that healing is not pretty. It's very ugly, actually. It's a very ugly, painful process. There are tears, which are toxic poisons coming out of your eyes, your tear ducts, that need to be released. There are emotions that need to be released, whether it's through songwriting, whether it's through a healthy medium or mechanism, whether it's writing in a journal, whether it's just writing to someone. I like to think that I'm writing to God when I do write. Some people don't feel comfortable facing themselves through pen and paper. Some people don't feel comfortable talking to themselves, but you can call a friend. Today I had a beautiful conversation with one of my close friends. The first time, actually, that I've had a conversation like this since I've been off the road in March. It was very lengthy. Whew, I was choked up when I first started the conversation, but I left that conversation feeling unashamed to be human and to have feelings and emotions and to let them off my chest without embarrassment. So we all need that, and know that you are not alone. You know, regardless of how you think, quote unquote, celebrities, which I don't really consider myself one of, have access to, live a certain way. We all suffer from pain, depression, anxiety, bad days, heavy days, you know, and whew, it's a heavy time in the world to pile on top of our personal battles. But um, I do want to say that this record is dedicated to you and everyone that whew, has not been able to process this confusion, this fear, this pain, this uncertainty, and the losses of our brothers and sisters at the hands of violence, senseless, unjust violence all over the world, whether it be police brutality, pedophilia, harassment, abuse, domestic. I mean, the list goes on, trafficking. But I hope that this time allows us to connect with each other and with compassion and understanding, but also awareness, because we got work to do. And the only way it's going to get done is if we start on us first as individuals. And that doesn't mean that you have to do that solely solo. So I just really want to say that I'm here. One of my goals in life before I became a recording artist was to become a veterinarian or a child psychologist. And I feel like there have been a lot of instances in my life where I've been a therapist, either to myself or, you know, to some of my acquaintances. But I'm definitely interested in taking those paths more seriously, in addition to nutrition. So I'm definitely working on it and doing the best that I can slowly for all of you, but always from a place of love and um, improvement so that we can live the best life possible in this world that is so upside down, you know. So that was a long whatever that was. I wasn't really even planning on talking or getting into that direction, but it was on my spirit and my heart. So yeah, I'm gonna scroll and tune into you now. I love you and my heart is with you. Okay. Broadway lights, get in rights. Are you in the studio? Yes, I'm in the studio, but I'm not working. I just conducted an amazing interview, a couple of amazing interviews. That's a secret, the first one. But the second one was with my vegan challenge winner, the Reset July winner, who accomplished um, 3 days of alkaline vegan life. And her name is Ashley Stevens at A_scribble_scribble. Yeah, we had a nice long hour conversation. I met her mom on Zoom. I love technology right now, at least the positive side of it. I definitely have to tune out at times, weeks at a time sometimes, but it was an amazing conversation. So, hey to Ashley, if you're on here. Let's see. Good question. Have you ever broken your veganism? I actually have broken my veganism before without knowing it. And I had a product that had milk in it, and I had another product like a vitamin, multivitamin that had gelatin in it, but I didn't know because I was still learning. So obviously in the process of learning, which was my first year, um, actually my first 6 months is when I was not consciously cheating, but messing up because I was learning as I was going. And there were a lot of things that I didn't know were not vegan, even though they say plant-based, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean vegan, or veggie, that doesn't mean vegan. So you actually literally have to read uh, the contents on processed packaged foods, of course, because that's how I started, to see if there's glycerin. Is it vegetable glycerin? Is it gelatin? Is there whey, which is not vegan, whey protein? Let's see, what else? Are there eggs? Are there dairy in it? Yeah, so I messed up a couple of times, but not willingly or consciously. And also within the first 6 months, by the way, when I started vegan life, once a month I would grant myself 2 cheat days. So I had reward at the end of the day. But there was a point where I just didn't even crave it anymore because I had discovered all of the substitutes. Yeah, but I allowed myself, something to look forward to that I eventually didn't look forward to anymore because I didn't crave it. But yeah, I discovered what the alternative was in the process, which is why I go by the motto, progress, not perfection, every time we conduct a challenge, you know? Okay, Marifu says, you have the most discipline I've ever seen. Okay. Um, yeah, I constantly put myself through what I consider hell so that I understand that if ever in a situation of either having to survive off of nothing, that I can abstain from food for days, or any addiction, like the wrong foods, the things that we love that are bad for us, like carbs. Hey, I'm the carb queen over here. But it's also a relationship with self. When you can master yourself, you can navigate in this world trusting yourself, and also understanding that you don't have to surrender to anything or anyone, because you have the power to do without. And you learn all of the things that you have been attached to for so long, from eating, when to eat, how many meals to eat, what to eat. I mean, all of the things that I've learned regarding food have been backwards and upside down. And I realized that I've been living an incorrect life all of my life until, and probably still am, So that's why I put myself through these challenges, so that I can learn something new, but also trust myself and become stronger, but also know that I have what it takes here and here to step into new territory, knowing nothing, and then learning something. And I started that when I went independent in 2007, because I knew that I was going to have to rely on just me, not a label, not a company, not a man, not a husband, not a boyfriend, not a sugar daddy, not a sponsor, not an investor, all me. And God, of course. And it was just me out there on a limb trying to work it out. So I basically decided to strip myself of everything, no alcohol, celibacy, went vegetarian, eventually vegan years and years later, run a marathon, 26.2 miles with no real training after ankle surgery. I mean, the list goes on and on on purpose or because somebody told me I couldn't and I would never. And these are just words of motivation that I never really share with you guys because I'm more of an observer and preserver. I'm very private. But I also, I'm constantly working on me because I'm not satisfied or complacent to what I want to give and offer to the world. So I'm always feeling like I'm in the process of, anyhow. I just thought I would send some personal experience, wise, and words of encouragement, but that's why the vegan life started in my willpower challenges that I often conduct, no matter what it is. Read the Bible in 1 year was also something that I was determined to do because I wasn't raised in a very religious family, but I decided to do that just to kind of learn. And um, yeah, I read it on an app, BIOY, Bible in 1 year, back in 2015. So, there are a lot of things. I want to read the Quran next. Hopefully, they have an app for that. Just to become aware of the things that I do want to understand, um, apply, and reside with. And yeah, I hope I just spoke some enlightening words from personal experience. So, Robert O. Demens. Okay. Good question. 95 coolness. Are you still wearing Invisalign? No, I'm not, as far as new trays are concerned, but I have my last week, which was my 15th week of Invisalign that I still apply to my daily routine as a retainer. But I mean, there's still some spaces in between my teeth that need to close up a little bit because they had to make some space for my teeth to move back together. And so I'll be getting maybe 5 more new sets of trays, which you swap out every week. um, and I got whatever they are called, the buttons on your teeth removed. So now I can speak more fluently because I was having a lisp before when I was trying to talk with the Invisaligns or the Invisalign buttons on my teeth before. So they're officially done until I get my next trays. And they're straight. Ah, they really work. And for those of you that were not hip to why I got Invisalign, I thought on tour that I cracked or chipped my tooth right here. And come to find out that this tooth right here was moving forward and chipped this tooth. So the orthodontist told me that, well, the dentist told me that if I don't get it corrected, it's going to happen again. And I currently have a filling right here on this tooth because they can't shave down any further without kind of like putting your teeth at risk. Yeah. So that's personal info, but I just shared it with you. We're all human, right? That's the Invisalign story. Yes, I've answered that question. What made you go vegan? Willpower challenge. What made me stay vegan is another story. I'll wait for that question. Okay, good question with Erica, Giselle XL. Did you get sick once you became vegan and eat non-vegan food accidentally? Uh, Erica says, okay, no. Now I understand the question. I've never actually gotten sick from eating, well, being vegan and going back to non-vegan food. But I have done challenges and cleanses where I have ingested white flour or white bread. And I ended up breaking out on my face because I had cleansed myself of all the things that constipate the system and pollute the skin. And so people constantly ask about my skin and skincare. It's honestly diet, but also using as few toxic chemicals as possible. So I no longer use makeup remover. I use coconut oil. And for my skin, I use shea butter, raw shea butter. There are no additives, no chemicals, no parabens, nothing toxic about it. And I like to use that. It's from Ghana. Also, African black soap, pure, glycerin free, no gelatin, no palm oil, which destroys ecosystems, habitats, and species themselves. But yeah, I'll put the brands in my starter guide as well. But yeah, that's what I do for my skin. Um, and getting rid of all that white flour, white sugar, white rice, white bread. No, absolutely not. No more in my life. The pastas. So there are alternatives, and that's also in the starter guide. But this is a book that everybody wants to get. Shaka Bars put me onto this, by the way, years ago in Jamaica, and I picked it up. Rest in peace to the author, Dr. Africa. And everyone needs that in their life. It's called African Holistic Health, excuse me. African Holistic Health. And it speaks about so many things, when to eat, how to eat, what to eat, spirituality, moral and compass, nature, chakras, all kinds of things that we need as a tool to navigate this life. And it's really amazing and interesting. It also speaks of the human body and some of the compounds that we're made up of and the appropriate things that once were in the environments that we once lived in that are kind of no longer. But we can get back to it semi. So right now I'm just educating myself with a lot of things so that I can bring you even more information. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, coffee or tea? I don't drink coffee. I have before, but for sure tea. Soursop leaves. Courtney Lenore asked. Soursop leaves are great. I do a lot of fresh ginger too, with some key lime or even lemon, which alkalizes the water and the body. Let's see. And PG County, what's up? I'm slow in these comments because y'all know I'm long-winded. Shout out to Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you, Autism Fit Mom. Thank you, Real C9. Oh. Hi, Miss Monica. How you doing? Danny's Life. Any new Planet 9 merch coming out? I have both shirts and hoodie. You know what I'm saying? I a lot of people have requested merch with my face on it, which I feel really weird about, unless I'm doing a tour and it's the album cover. I don't know. I'm not really into idolatry too much. It's really strange to me. So I do like Planet 9 because it means so many things to me. And a lot of you know what that is. But I mean, whatever you request, I will try to manufacture. It's not really my focus right now, but if there's something that you absolutely want, sure, I'll make it happen, but be specific because I want to make sure enough of you before I do get it processed, manufactured, design, all that stuff, that there's an actual demand for it. Golden X Mary _ asks, what made you stay vegan? Well, being vegan is not just about food or human health, but there are a lot of tiers and things that are connected with food, but more so the way food is produced and manufactured, how animals are raised, but also bred for human consumption that is destroying the planet, from climate change to species extinction to habitat loss, um, ecosystem destruction, pollution of our oceans. World hunger is one of the issues that's attached to animal agriculture, and it's very hard to understand all of these things that I'm saying because there are so many things that are connected to that. And when I say world hunger, what I mean is a lot of the grains that are fed to, whether it be cattle or pigs, chicken, etc., a lot of those grains are taken from people. And you can actually reverse the entire issue of world hunger if those grains went into the mouths of the people that they are supposed to supply. Obviously, world hunger is tied up into systems of oppression as well, systemic systems of oppression and suppression. So there are other layers to it as well. But as you know, um, a lot of the wealth of the world, the minerals of the world, has been taken advantage of, extracted, exploited in lands where melanated people reside who suffer the most. And so my conscious decision is attached to all of these issues globally. You know, it's a people thing, it's a humanitarian thing, it's a human thing, respect for human life, respect for all life, animal life. And, you know, there are a lot of things that are brought up and questions and arguments like, won't the planet be overpopulated with animals if we don't eat them? No, because the way animals are actually bred are by the billions every year, and they are raped, artificially inseminated, put on rape racks, by the way. They're not able to turn around in their pens. They're hooked up to machines. Cows give birth to baby calves, and those calves are stolen within days or a couple of weeks so that humans can consume milk from an animal that is meant to grow a baby calf to 500 pounds in 1 year. And we wonder why our communities, especially the Black community, suffers with diabetes, with early ages of puberty, heart disease conditions showing at age 9, cancer. And if you follow Dr. Sebi, you know the root of all disease is mucus. And you know, the dairy industry is a very cruel industry, and so is the egg industry. And if you are a male calf, your life doesn't matter, and you are killed immediately and not kept alive because of one thing: you cannot produce milk. And the same thing with eggs. If you are a baby male chick, you are killed on your first day of birth because you can't produce eggs. And so I decided that I was going to detach myself from things of violence, of death, of murder as much as possible. You know, you can never play it safe because there's obviously global emissions from transportation and airplanes. But the other thing that I also learned, and why climate change in the animal agriculture space takes up the top slot of pollution of this earth and the destruction of it, well, it exceeds all of global emissions from transportation. I'm talking about airplanes, helicopters, even when we go to outer space, including every car on the road, every motorcycle on the road. Animal agriculture actually exceeds the pollution. and gets into that ozone layer, thins it out, and that's usually why we have so many natural disasters at alarming rates. And so, just the world of how we're all connected, and how if we destroy our own habitats and ecosystems, and the fact that in 2048, only 28 years from now, there will be fishless oceans because people overfish to get the type of fish or sea life that they want for business, um, we die. So if we don't start by taking care of this earth, and there are many ways that we can obviously do it, but that's one of the biggest ways. And when I learned that, that's what kept me vegan, not just the benefits that it has for myself, for my spirit, my emotions, my physicality, that's all surface stuff, but it's also conscious. And I think when you are aligned to the things that resonate with everyone, and keeping that in mind, and how your actions affect everyone and every living thing, including the generations that are next, you no longer want to contribute to the destruction of this world, but hopefully the repair of it. And that is why I am vegan for life. So I hope I gave you just a little small scope of my reasoning, because I've often been asked, but I've never really gone in true depth. But it is in my starter guide at mayamaya.com/lifestyle. Whenever you do want to join the movement and the lifestyle, or do the next challenge, which is August 1st, just for 3 days, an easy reset. Um, Everyone's welcome, and it is international. No matter what country you're in, you still qualify to be the winner and receive goodies, etc. And that's what it is. So just sharing what I've learned. I don't know everything, but I do know some things. Okay, La Negro Rosso asks, my apologies, I meant to say, what do you use as a natural sweetener? As a natural sweetener, I use dates or date sugar. There's always agave. Raw agave is really great too. And if you like syrup, there's grade A maple syrup, but I don't use it that often. There are other things like coconut sugar, coconut nectar, but agave is still considered alkaline when you're doing one of those types of challenges, and so are dates. So you can just soak your dates in your water, or add them to snack time. They suppress your appetite as well, and they are antioxidants. That's what I do know. And great skin as well. Filling as well. Okay. Okay, so let them eat cake. 27. I was talking about Dr. Sabi, and he basically stated that mucus is the root of all disease. Someone just asked if he died from cancer. No, he did not. He died from, well, he so-called died from pneumonia, but I mean, he was held captive in a jail cell and not given his normal regimen of food or diet, and basically fed him something that you wouldn't even feed your own pet. So I'm sure that in those conditions, and cold floors, wet floors, and germs, etc., at his age, of course, without the proper nutrition, yeah, which was the plan all along, to kind of destroy or attempt to destroy a legacy. So, anyhow, I'm going to speak on it. That's what I believe, and some of it I do know. Um, Goodness. Yes, sir. Ralphie Kid 1000. Hi, Miss Diddy. I'm not in Cali and I haven't been back in months, but I still remember our convo and message. So I hope that I get a chance to link with you over some food, some good food. Good question, Hassan Field, Beauty 2020. Do you kill insects or rodents? Just curious. The funny thing is, just last week, my mother was like, "Oh, there's a fly in the house, etc., etc." Get my swatter. I'm like, "Mom, don't kill it. A fly's life matters too." I'm like, "I'll put it in a cup. I have a trick." She looked at me like, "Well, it's crazy," because she's actually the first person to take an insect or a spider or one of those bugs that smell bad with her hand and let it go outside. But this time she was saying, "Hand me the fly swatter." I'm like, "No, don't kill them. They have a purpose too." She thought I lost my mind. But no, I have not killed insects, excuse me. I've spent a lot of time in nature with bats, with scorpions, with all kinds of critters. And I just let them be. If I get bit, obviously, that's a problem. Snake bite, if you're ever in nature, make sure you take the first leaf that you see, hopefully not poison ivy, but from a tree. And it has chlorophyll in it that will prevent your blood from clotting. So a lot of people are grounding right now, which means that you're like in the grass barefoot. Since it's summertime, if you get bit by a snake, make sure, you don't know if it's poisonous or not, that you take some chlorophyll if it's on hand, but if not, some grass, some leaf from a tree at the bushes, because it might be poison oak, poison sumac, poison ivy, and we're going to have some problems. But anyways, no, I do not kill insects, not even spiders, which for a long time I had a phobia of, and that's called arachnophobia. I will never forget that movie when I was a kid. But now we're cool. They'll just be chilling. I used to have to leave the room for hours at a time until I couldn't see it anymore, but still wouldn't go back in it fully to sleep until I knew it was out of there. And I'm just cool. I'm cool with insects and all of their isms and purposes, and I respect that. So I'm in their territory, and if they come in mine, we just got to work it out, which is why I don't live in New York City. Whew. Hey, Quest, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Great to see you here. Um, Fossey Medley says, "Are you 100% raw food now?" No, I am not. But on the last challenge, I did conduct a raw, a vegan, an alkaline vegan, and a juicing challenge so that you could choose. What I did was day one, raw veganism, second day, alkaline veganism, and the third day was all juicing. But honestly, this past week, I've been eating nothing but raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Um, that's it. And the last 3 days prior to this 36-hour power fast of water conducted by chocolate bars, um, prior to that, I was only eating one time a day and didn't even feel hungry. So I don't know what's been going on, but I haven't really been craving food like that, like I was. And I think the biggest thing was I was cooking these big, huge dishes for my family. One of my family members is sick, but cancer. And I've been trying to get some of my family to transition into the plant-based lifestyle. So I've been cooking these huge meals of mac and cheese, vegan, obviously, and jerk, rice and peas, plantains, callaloo, collard greens, all kinds of stuff, meatless meatballs, topped with vegan cheese. There's been a lot of things that I've been cooking every other week. And so when I cook, I also obviously taste to make sure it's right and seasoned to my liking, because if I like it, everybody else will. Um, and then I can't stop. So once you put it into your system, you crave what you feed your body. And I think the reset challenge did wonders for me because I stopped craving all that processed food. And not that I had an addiction, but I was cooking it for family. But I'm usually 60% raw, and then everything else is cooked because I do love flavor. I do love warmth. I do love soups. I do love broths. And I do love a good processed, situation here and there. But um, my ultimate goal is just to kind of live the healthiest life possible, and outside of food, of course, as well, but to eat properly, which is what I'm studying right now. So, vegan doesn't always mean healthy, by the way. So, that is my journey right now, removing all the processed stuff out of my life and all the white flours, sugars, and breads, pastas, and then replacing it with a better substitute that's either more alkaline or won't constipate you, or make you tired with the itis. So, yeah, that's my journey. That's my long winded answer again. I like to be thorough. Hi, Miss Shalom Charity Collections. Everybody go check out this beautiful lady's Black owned business of so many things and vegan cruelty free makeup, by the way, along with some fabulous jewelry and accessories. I'm waiting for my package, my gift package. Dallas, Texas in the house. Shout out to my sis. Flawless, flawsomely, I'm sorry, flawsomely beautiful says, wait, so you're not scared of centipedes? Oh my God. Actually, there was a centipede in my living room. Last week, I took a cup and I put it over the centipede, and I got a piece of paper and I like put it under the cup, very carefully, of course, because I would jump if it came out. And then I let it outside. So it works. But yeah, I think I would be scared of a big old water bug or a roach, and a flying roach from New York. I just have to leave. I don't know what I would do in that situation. But they have them in the tropics as well and other places too. That type of thing, I'm not with the crawly crawls and the critters that will crawl on you or fly on you. That's not for me. So I do want to go camping in my yard before the winter time, or the fall, of course. I want to go camping outside. I've been taking night walks and night breaks, which help me quite a lot. And I've been able to see the planets on the Night Sky app, by the way, in alignment on one side of the sun still. So if you're interested in outer space, astronomy, and just kind of getting away from Earth for a minute, it really puts either your individual problems, some of the earthly problems, into a different perspective. It definitely helps me either ascend or graduate to another dimension or level as a part of my day, to kind of take it back to existence in the universe instead of all these man-made issues that we're bombarded and consumed with. So anyhow, Night Sky app. If you guys want to night gaze, stargaze, constellation gaze with me tonight, you just hold your phone up and you see every satellite around Earth. You see all of the constellations, the 12, but all of the many constellations around us, every star, the names of each star, um, within the visible universe, of course. And it's fascinating, especially if you are going through a hard time right now. You know, it's one of the things that I did when I went independent, which is why my label is called Planet Nine. I used to sit here and watch DVDs from the library on outer space on that TV right there. And something spiritual just happened. And my purpose was refocused. You know, my I guess perception of self was refocused, because I was able to tap out of, I think all of the things that we learn in society and just get back to a place of natural, either law and rhythm and existence, and how insignificant we all are, but also how significant we are simultaneously. It's very trippy in a very healthy way. So yes. Yes, pro-bite claw. A lot of processed stuff will drain you. I swear every time I eat salad, I feel like I can go walking longer and do stuff in general. Absolutely. Hey, Phil, so good to see you. Congratulations on your latest project. I can't wait to collab. I was actually talking with Chucky Thompson about you a couple weeks ago when we were talking about collabs and the direction that, I want this one of my next projects to go in. So I hope we can work again. Everybody check out Phil Ade. Ade in My Life is his page. ADEINNYLIFE. His project is dope. And he got bars. We got how many songs together now? I think 3 and 1 unreleased that we cut in LA. Yes. I hope Instagram Live doesn't kick me off because I hopped on here at like 10:01 and it's now 11:07. I guess I'll get a warning unless that doesn't apply anymore. Christian423 says, we love you. We need more music. Well, I love you back. And a lot of you probably are not aware that I have 9 independent projects, and they are all listed on mayamaya.com/music. You can check that out. But a lot of that stuff is always online, digitally, and streaming. So I hope you enjoy the latest album, which is the TKO album. One of the latest videos, The Truth, which I released on Valentine's Day. And in April, I released You Got Me Part 2 for my 90s R&B lovers. In May, I released Space and Time. And today, I released the video for Space and Time. So I'm doing what I can in quarantine. And there's a lot of background work behind the scenes, which I also do, to process all of the metadata and some of the legal, some of the publishing. Whew. The negotiations, the payments, as an independent label and artist. Crazy. 2 different things, but they intersect. So there's new music out. There are new projects out. The latest 2 are Smooth Jones and TKO, which are for my R&B core fans. What is the name of the app that I was just talking about? It's called Night Sky. Download it on your phone. Oh, I love it. It just takes me, it realigns me. Let's just say that. And I'm in awe. And I think wonderment is a word. Well, I'm going to use it tonight. In full wonder. When I'm able to see all of these things in the universe, the visible universe, and tap into another train of thought, because we can get lost in our own sauce and social media sometimes, or even the news, which takes a toll, on our mentality and our spirit too. How much water do you drink a day? Asks It's Jazzy Doll. I'm going to tell you, I don't drink enough. I need to drink more water always, but I only drink water and fresh juice. No sodas, no liquor. Once in a while, I have a glass of my red wine, which is also on mayamaya.com/shop. But yeah, just everything pure, no processed high fructose corn syrup drinks. I have eliminated all that stuff from my liquids. I'll also do some soursop leaf and make some tea. I do have some bitters, and if anybody's interested in doing a parasite cleanse or even a colon cleanse, go to letsbevegan.com to reset your internal. And it's not pretty, but it's worth it. And you will definitely cleanse your system and feel better afterwards. Yeah. Even if you want to implement it in the top of your day, since most of us, not all of us, but most of us are stationary, you got time to go to the toilet. So recommend that. Letsbevegan.com. You can get your parasite cleanses from. Let's see. Thank you, Miss Angie. Angie is one of our Angie Supernova, who's also at Cooking with Supernova, one of my vegan challenge winners twice in the past. She actually aced her recent challenge. Check out her cooking page. I'm trying to come to your house and get invited to the cookout because your dishes look amazing and professional, even though like you're semi new to this. Probably not anymore, but I mean, how many years has it been? Just a couple? Yeah. I was so happy to see your new page and all of your creations. Amazing. Thank you, The Real Sawali, for guided meditation reference and encouragement. Carla Gossett, I hope I said your name right. What's your favorite vegan food to eat? My favorite vegan food to eat? Good question. Anything with spice and seasoning. I love any kind of curry, Thai curry, coconut curry, Indian curry, Jamaican curry, Caribbean curry. I love some jerk too, but it has to be seasoned. I like spicy too. I love me a good Scotch bonnet pepper, not all the time, and of course not when I'm doing my alkaline challenges, but I would say curry and jerk are my favorite. Italian used to be a weakness of mine because of the carbs, but I've kind of deceased and dismissed that from my life after I gained my quarantine weight, to be honest. By the way, since I did my 30-day workout, no gym, no problem challenge, since I can't be with my trainer in Cali, I finished my 30 days out of 30 days and I lost 8 pounds. I was 142 and now I'm down to 134. And I'm probably going to be losing like 2 or 3 more pounds after this 36-hour power fast. So, whoo, I feel better. I look better. I have a lot more energy. I'm definitely a lot stronger. And my trainer's Instagram handle is I'm rock solid underscore fitness. And that's where I hit the link on his bio to basically download the guide. He doesn't even know I did it because he's talking about when you come back to Cali, we got to get it in, in the gym, you slacking, etc. I'm like, look, I got to pre-train before you train me. So I'm getting ready to make sure I'm right to even get in the gym. Yeah, because I haven't been out in public. Anyhow, it's working and I'm down 8 pounds. Not that that was even the goal, and I put on muscle weight on top of that, but I feel better and I've run more miles than when I first started. I only started at 1 mile, but I mean, 5 miles is really easy for me now. And I probably could do 8 in one day with no issues with my knee or ankle or anything. But my dog, who I take on my jogs, he can't even keep up. We got to take 2 or 3 breaks for him to like sit down or go in the house and get back at it. Jack's my Roddy. Whew, but it's hot out there too. Do you eat quinoa? Yes, quinoa is a superfood. And it's really hard to consume it when I'm doing a raw challenge because I never can cook it enough to get it to the texture that I like, because you cannot exceed 118 degrees on a raw, diet. So that's really difficult. And I don't like hard quinoa. But yes, I consume quinoa instead of rice a lot. What up, Tom Mills? You participated in the challenge as well. I was so happy to see one of The guys out there, join us because y'all been lacking these last couple challenges. But it was so great to see a lot of guys join in this go round. And I made it a lot easier with 3 days. Tom says, or Tom P. Mills. Guess what I did? I made vegan baked spaghetti, and all my roommates thought it was real meat and cheese. See what I'm saying? Substitutes. Starter guide. MayaMaya.com/lifestyle. Get into it. Substitute section. People won't even know they're eating vegan food, plant-based food, when you get your substitutes right. I'm telling you, this is where it's at. Um, hey, Scribble. I was just online with you. Tell your mom I said hey. Y'all are wild. Run Jack's 10 miles. Nah, I'm not trying to kill my dog. He needs breaks. And my baby Jax, he has his own personal pool now. He loves it when I say, let's get in the pool. Let's go outside and get in your pool. You want to get in your pool? Oh my gosh, he loves it. He can't wait until I go to the side of the house to turn on that water hose. He is splashing, splishing, and splashing away. Then he gets, here he comes. I just spoke your name. He just bust into my studio. Say hi to the people. Hey, Jax. Say hi to the people. Not your hot breath. Let's just say hi to the people. He got the hottest breath in the world. Like, it literally feels like a heater. Jax. How do you get your protein? Good question. GEBT Chala or Chaya. There are lots of sources of protein in a vegan diet. Some of the strongest animals on earth get their protein from plants like elephants, gorillas, and it's plant protein. But the human body actually doesn't need the protein that we think we need, or it needs. It needs more fiber than anything else, and obviously minerals. And one source of those minerals are sea moss. 92 minerals that the human body is comprised of is in sea moss. The human body contains 102 minerals. Anyhow, you can get your sea moss from Fruits and Roots with a Z at the end. More Than One Way sea moss, and that's with the number 1. And what's another one? Alkaline Gourmet. There's also a brand new company that sent me something that I'm going to include in my starter guide very soon when I update it. But there are so many ways to consume your minerals. Back to your question, though, you get your protein from leafy green vegetables, which contain more protein than meat per calorie. You can also get them from nuts, seeds. Some fruits like jackfruit also have a lot of protein in it. Jackfruit is actually one of the fruits that has the most protein in it, known to, at least what's accessible to me anyways. And what was the other thing? Beans, loaded with fiber, loaded with protein. Yep. And sources of protein are actually in my free starter guide. There's a whole section of questions or frequently asked questions, and I address iron, calcium, magnesium, protein, vitamins, and all the foods that contain them. And there are a lot of brands listed, documentaries, books, also the vegan community that I follow. It's free. Yes, I have watched Game Changers on Netflix. If you guys are into a movie night tonight, since it's movie night Monday and it's not even 12 o'clock over here yet. A lot of films to watch. They're all in the starter guide, but yes, Cowspiracy, Earthlings, Game Changers. There's a new documentary called They're Trying to Kill Us from Hungry for Change Productions. I'm actually in that with a lot of other people from the entertainment industry. Don't know if it's come out yet, but I've seen the advertisement and trailers. Shout out to Badass Vegan who produced the film. Took him about 4 years to do it with another director. What's another one? Seaspiracy, that's on YouTube. It's very short. More Than Honey is also a great one to watch when people ask me, how come you don't eat honey? Why is that not vegan? Watch More Than Honey so that you can understand why. What the Health? Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Food Matters, Food Inc. There's so many, and there are new ones coming out every year. So that's if you're on Netflix tonight or YouTube tonight and trying to watch a movie and either chill or not, or learn something. Okay, we're going to shift gears. We've been talking a lot about food. Oh. Space and Time video. Did you check it out? What are your thoughts on it? We shot it during quarantine in my yard, in my neighborhood, and on all Black-owned land. People usually don't associate land and ownership with us, so it was just great to be able to do it. People also don't usually associate country with us or nature, so I was glad to be able to incorporate it, which is strange because that's what it is and that's what it's supposed to be. What are your thoughts? What are your notes? I love criticism. I love to hear your ideas. I want to know how it made you feel. Yeah, how you feeling right now? Thank you, Doyathang.j. You are appreciated. I'm glad that you like it. Appreciate it. Be More Rico and Tom Mills. Tom P. Mills. I keep saying it wrong. Thank you for commenting on YouTube. I mean, let me know what you think about it in YouTube as well. Comments are always welcome. They don't have to be perfect. Y'all control me. I don't care. I've already gone through 22 years of trolling, so whatever you say to the haters or the negatives out there, I'm cool. I love you too. But anyhow, you don't have to like everything that artists put out, but I always appreciate feedback, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, I do what I can with what I got. And I got incredible people, incredible team members. None of us are perfect, but we make it happen and we make it work however we can on sometimes extended timelines. Not the type of timeline that I would like to operate by, but we make it happen. Yes, indeed. Indeed. I love a good block button. I just wanted to throw that in there. Yes, DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. That stands for, a lot of people are like Department of Motor Vehicles. Absolutely not. DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Hey. TME Breeze, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed the Ready for Whatever video. Calm app. Absolutely. Good idea. Indeed. What are you laughing at, Scribble, Miss Ashley? Yes, indeed. No, we did not shoot this in Baltimore. We shot this in PG County, Maryland, or Maryland, if you're from the area. April's in here, Ayo AP. She started off as my intern and then became assistant and then became road manager and then became PA on a video shoot, handled some logistics, and even did some behind the scenes captures. So shout out to my Planet 9 fam. Let's go live, April. Let's let them know what it's looking like in the conversation that we had today on text regarding Planet 9. You ready to go live? Give me a yes or no. I mean, I don't know if you're in your PJs right now. Ah, I put you on the spot because all I see is silence on my timeline. I don't see your name yet, and I hear crickets. Where you at, April? I'm about to request you, but I think you have to request me if you want to go live. Is my idea, but I'm trying to get you on my live. In the meantime, between time, JV Fair has you have a voice and demeanor for the radio like the Quiet Storm. Okay, well, just FYI, I have an album out right now called Smooth Jones, and it's based off of that entire concept. I grew up in DC and Maryland, listening to Donnie Simpson, WPGC, and Kevin James. I think he was on 96.3. And they were very cool, calm, collected radio hosts that would always do these nightly hour or quiet storm segments. I think Kevin James' segment was called the Quiet Storm, actually. But they were very laid back with the Billy D. Williams swag, which is very much my dad. And I was a 70s baby with vinyl and all that kind of stuff in my living room in the 80s. And I was influenced by them. So I just became the female version on that album as my own radio host of the Smooth Jones radio show. And one of my favorite songs from that album is the Smooth Jones Afterglow Show, which is a very quiet storm, reminiscent of Janet Jackson's Anytime, Anyplace. They got nominated for a Grammy, that whole album. So shout out to all of the producers that worked on that album with me, Delivery Boy and Yanni and my guy Mars, DJ Hardwork. There were so many, and I just really enjoyed that process. So enjoy that if you haven't heard it and you're into 90s or 70s R&B and grown and sexy vibes, grown folk music. Smooth Jones. And shout out to Carl Cherry for always supporting me and giving me the Apple exclusive for that particular project. Like, they're really amazing people in this business that will hear you out respectfully and, you know, believe in you. So I love it. And yes. Where you at, April? Looking for you. Did I put April on the spot? She went ghost. Oh, she said she just cut her locks off. Okay. That's news to me. I didn't know you cut your locks. Did you save them? Thank you, Drew Steelers. I hope that you enjoy. You Got Me Part 2. I really want to shoot a video for that, but I think the concept that I have right now wouldn't work for the times that we're in because it's going to require some sweaty rehearsals and that's just not safe. So a lot of things are on hold, but we're going to make it happen. So let's see who has a question, and I'm going to go live. Tiffany _ cufflinks. Great question. Did you get nicer after you changed your eating habits? I was never really a mean person, but I would say I was nicer to myself, which allowed me to be nicer to everyone. And I was just more connected and aligned. I'd say that. I was definitely more upbeat, more happy. I had a glow, more energy. I was not moody, uh, like maybe I so often was. If my system was just on overload trying to digest foods that would take so long to digest or weren't meant for me to consume in the first place biologically. So, yeah, I felt better and my mind became clearer, my skin was clearer, my choices became clearer. I also allowed myself freedom to celebrate myself unapologetically, and I felt good about my life. I also healed from a very toxic relationship when I went vegan, reversed my anemia, which is basically iron deficiency because I was consuming more iron rich fruits, vegetables, foods. And yeah, I really think just as living proof that you can reverse so many things in your life just with food alone, but also healthy practices and maybe getting rid of or eliminating any habits that are unhealthy. I went years with no TV in my place out in California on purpose because I didn't want any distractions and my focus was to just better myself. So that was also something that helped me manage my time. I also made sure that the way I lived out there was very minimal so that I wouldn't have parties and that I wouldn't have guests over to deter me from my focus. So, I mean, I have a house on the East Coast, but, um, the way I was living in LA was just very minimal so that I could focus on healing myself, but also staying focused on my goal. And my goal at that time was to record 2 albums, actually three. Um, but y'all got two of them, you know, plus the EPs. I've since I've gone vegan, I have released 3 EPs and 2 albums independently. Um, and the 10th and 11th are all on the way. Yeah. Okay, so who else wants to go live? Angie, you want to go live? Are you planting your own food or are you into it? I just had a conversation with the current vegan challenge winner of July about planting food. She actually planted a mango tree or a couple of them. Um, I haven't gotten into it yet. My mom does all the planting, but it's something that I definitely want to do. I have the land for it, maybe not all seasons for it because I live in a place temporarily. My life is on the road usually, but not now. But we do have food that's growing on our property, but they're very separate from each other because there's a lot of wildlife here. There are fox, groundhogs, rabbits, squirrels, deer, and the list goes on. And you have to have fences around, if not a covering, sometimes to protect. And I'm not going to be spraying any pesticides on my food. It would obviously be organic. So we keep it all on a terrace to protect it from the critters and the wildlife. And there's zucchini, there is cilantro, basil, some leafy greens. What else? Cherry and plum tomatoes, snap peas, cucumber, avocado. They're baby avocado right now. Yeah, all that right here. And you don't need a whole lot of land to do it. You don't even need any land to do it. You might not get a tree, but you can still do it and grow small versions of the fruit that you want. Organic seeds only, of course, and seeded fruit only, of course. Okay, y'all know I'm long with it. Mm-hmm. Angie Supernova, hey, would you like to go live? Congrats on buying some land. Angie's like, nah, it's too late. Not going live. Are y'all shy? Come on. Are y'all shy right now? Because I don't really see anybody that's trying to go live. You sound like you live in Virginia. I don't even really know what that sounds like. I know what DC and Maryland sounds like. I know what Baltimore sounds like, which is completely different from DC. You know, avocado is life. Space and Time video is out right now. It dropped today. It's 11:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast of the U.S. I hope that everyone enjoys the art and healing. Some of the things that I've been doing as far as healing is concerned and being aligned in this time of devastation, time of loss, time of confusion and chaos. When I get up in the morning, I say a statement of gratitude, meaning giving thanks for the breath in my body. Sometimes I wake up from nightmares and want to go back to sleep, to be honest, but I still have to make it a habit of paying gratitude for life itself. Um, I don't stay consistent as far as the time goes with my workouts, but I have made the conscious, necessary effort to join a program called No Gym, No Problem, which I predominantly do outside. It requires just a yoga mat. I completed my 30 days of 30 days, but I get my vitamin D from the sun. And if you don't have weights, I use water bottle jugs that you save, from your spring water, your distilled water, your drinking water. You fill them up with water and use them as your weights. But I do have sets of weights here as well. I do that for some weight training. Ankle weights are great. My dog is snoring in the background. Here's that classic snore with Jax. Had to get it in. Hey, Jax. I bet you if I say you want to go for a WALK, he's gonna respond to me then. Baby Jax, you want to go for a walk? The shade. So you were really listening to me, but you just chose to ignore me. Seriously? Seriously, though. I'm just saying. Okay, so that's some of the things that I've been doing. And animals are so healing. We have fun. Oh my gosh, I take Jax on his walks. Oh my goodness, he loves his pool. It forces me to go outdoors. He's a bit much to handle outside, especially when there are other animals. So I prefer walking him at night or when everyone's indoors. We'll have our little night walks and I'll stare up at the stars. But I want to go camping outside, just in my own little yard. It's nice to get outside at night and listen to the songs of nature, which vary and are completely different than the songs of nature in the morning. I have seen different things blossom during these months in quarantine. From March to July, the cherry blossoms here, nature's confetti of them falling from the trees to the ground, and the ground being covered in either white or pink petals has been beautiful and amazing. Just right outside. There's nothing like nature, nothing like the country. Would I rather be in Africa or the Caribbean? Yes, but I'm not there right now. And so when I go outside, it reminds me of my time in the Caribbean or Africa or Central America or South America in the jungle or nature in the rainforest, in the tropics, close to the equator where the sun shines all year long and the tropical rain feels good on your skin. I mean, heaven on earth. It's needed to remind ourselves of what life is supposed to be and also to realign with basically our true habitat. So, not everybody is in a warm climate right now or a tropical climate. It's really hot out here, but it's helping me get through and process, but also staying connected to worldly issues, to humble myself and maybe some of the things that I dwell upon regarding my own egotistical needs, desires, and wants. Um, just to be aware of the suffering in this world and the problems of self become less important or magnified and dissipate. So I would say I would recommend all of that. Reading has been really healthy. Turning off that TV has been healthy. Turning off social media has been healthy. And tuning into some of the more informative or healing pages, and cheering friends on as they also lead the way and starting their own businesses and finding themselves or starting a new venture with podcasts and making things at home and do it yourself channels. It's been really beautiful. So a lot of things are being birthed in this time too. And you have the choice to what you want to tap into. But those are some of the things that have been working for me. There's also a website that I like. It's called Gaia.com, GAIA.com. And they have some really enlightening, thought provoking documentaries on there, short films as well. So I would recommend that. YouTube is always a great university, but also, a tool to either explore. Not everything is accurate on YouTube, but the sleep meditation sounds if you're having insomnia and restless nights. There are a lot of apps out here now as well. The Calm app has been really great for sleep. One thing I miss is having a massage once in a while and seeing a good chiropractor once in a while. So I've had to figure that out, which has been pretty painful. I have a very tight hamstring and I'm trying to do as much stretching as possible. But there are yoga tutorials on YouTube, chakra healing on YouTube by healers and masters, certified by the way. And they work. I've been feeling a difference and seeing a difference. Yeah. And reaching out to friends, that uplift you. And being a friend to uplift somebody else. So I hope this is of value. And let's see. Good question. Or the jump off and why? Oh, sorry, I got a call. Maya, why did you not use Jax in your video? Well, we thought that Gemma, the other dog that you see in the video, would be more manageable because, there are a lot of takes. You stop, you go. Jax also gets hot outside in the sun, and the sun was blazing out there, if you can't tell. Gemma is just more, I would say, calm when she sees wildlife, or more manageable because both of them are pretty lit when they see a squirrel or a rabbit or whatever. But yeah, I used Gemma for that reason and not Jax. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you. Vegan Poet 84. Are you an angel? Just asking for a friend. No, I'm just another shitty human being on this planet trying to find my way, full of flaws and trying to be the best I can be. That's all I am. And trying to help other people be their best selves as well. Who wants to go live? Shaka Bars, where are you at? I just missed your call because I'm on live. But if I see your name, I'll plug you in if you are capable of going live. Hey, I see that you guys are super shy. So I don't see anybody that wants to go live right now. I'm I am just shocked and appalled because usually my timeline is flooded with live requests. Maybe it's just too too late in the game tonight and folks got their bonnets on and whatnot. um, how often do you go to a chiropractor, spas, facials, etc.? I don't really do the spas or facials. I do them myself, and I do a lot of stretching. But there was once upon a time that I had to see a chiropractor maybe once a week because something kept slipping. He is no longer working. He actually retired, so I need to find a new one. And just get readjusted. When we sit for too long or do the same exercises for too long or just aging, things can align out of alignment. Yeah. Cash out DZ. Okay, here we go. We got 59 requests all in one view. How do you do this? Because I've never done this. AOP. Oh, AOP. No locks in all. She just cut her locks off. She said she's about to go live with me. Here we go. Let's see if she accepts my request. I just saw 59. What up, April? you got you got your hoodie and your hat on.
Listen. This is a last minute decision. It was just time,
Because everybody left me hanging.
Let me tell you, it was just time. Like I was like, it's time for them to go. They were down my back, y'all. My box were down. They were touching my butt. It was just
the
time.
box.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me introduce or reintroduce April, and then
Hey,
you can
y'all.
introduce yourself. April,
Okay.
I met, I think, at the Howard Theater in Washington,
Yeah.
D.C., maybe 2 years
Yes.
ago.
Yep. Probably about no. It's shoot. It
Three?
was about 4 years ago. 2016.
Oh, the Smooth Jones album had just come out.
Yes.
2016.
Yep.
And what did you say to me?
I was like, put me in the game, coach.
Put me in the
I had
game,
just
coach.
moved from North Carolina. And I knew I wanted to work in the industry. And when we met, I just asked you. I was like, "Hey, just try me out. Just give me a shot. Let's see what can happen." And it worked out.
And so I gave April a shot and I was like, well, let me see what you could do. I don't know if there was training or anything because we didn't start with logistics and contracts and any of that stuff, but it
Right,
was more
right.
so assistance work first and then turn into road management next.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So it just kind of progressed. It started off as assisting, and a lot of that people ask me, they're like, "How did you become her assistant?" I'm just like, I'm just a good person, y'all. Like, I'm a
no,
professional. I'm just a good
really,
person. Like,
yeah, but April basically stepped up to me. So usually when we ask for something in the universe, it's put into the universe for
literally, I just
manifestation, and a
asked.
closed mouth does not get fed. She had the
Ooh, no.
courage and the belief in herself to step up to me. I don't know if you were a fan and you were like, this bitch's music is just like whack as fuck. But
No, 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 no,
I'm
no,
trying to
no,
work.
no.
You know what I'm saying?
But I was though.
Cut the
I was
check,
hungry. I
coach.
mean, I still am. I was just hungry. I was just like, let me just ask. At this point, let me just ask. So
You know what I'm saying? But it happened, and because we've been in quarantine, I hit up April. I was like, look, thinking about shooting a video. Are you
yeah,
interested in participating? We didn't know what the role was going to be. And April is now a PA, which means personal assistant on video
that's right.
sets, kind of
Mm-hmm.
learning the process and executing the process. It was a 3 day shoot, more like two and
Oh,
a half days. And,
2.5
you know,
long days.
she even steamed my wardrobe. I mean, come on, and shot some BTS behind the scenes unreleased footage and photos. You
Yeah.
know, one of the first things that I think you worked at was at something up the street not too long ago, years ago,
Yep.
of course, but not too far away. And you showed up with your camera.
Yep.
And I was like
Yep.
really impressed. I'm like, okay,
Had
she's
my
not
little
just
book
trying to be
bag. I had my
here.
camera. I had my notepad. I was
Right.
ready.
So she was ready. She was taking notes, she was learning, but also applying. Yeah, so this is April Lawrence at AYO, AP, who's
AP.
officially a part of Planet Nine. She gets the checks
Yeah.
too. I pay
Yes.
my people,
We
and I
gets
pay them on the
paid,
spot
dog.
or
We
I
gets
cash out.
paid, dog. Gets paid, man.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'm on no budget at all, but people still, we work together on minimal budgets when there is something I
Yeah.
just got to pull from the strength or the faith of God
We get it
above.
done though. Like we just
We
get
get
it
it
done
done.
every
You know what I'm
time.
saying?
Every
Make it
single
happen.
time.
Yes. So shout out to April. I don't know if is there anything that you want to say, your experience working at Planet Nine,
Oh
what
man.
you learned, your
Whew.
resume and what it consists of now?
Yeah, it's been a real joy, man. Like I knew I always wanted to work in the industry. I went to North Carolina A&T. I'm an Aggie, and this is not stuff they teach you in school. You don't necessarily learn how to do personal assistant work or just know how to communicate with people in the industry. And you just kind of learn as you go, and you have to be the kind of person that's just really kind to people, um, and just really know when to take the reins on projects and when to say yes and when to say no and when things are okay. So you kind of got to have some intuition. Like you kind of got to have it in your gut and like
Mm-hmm.
know what's right at the time, especially when you're working with a Grammy winner, a big artist, just an icon like Maya. You just got to know. And just some things like that I've learned. I grew up in rural North Carolina. Shout out to Weldon, North Carolina, very small area, 252. And moving to DC, there's just a lot that I missed just being in a small town. But I'm super grateful for Maya for giving me the opportunity to just step into a role that you can't necessarily just go online and apply for. You gotta, divine timing. It has to be right. So I just continue to just seek advice from the universe and guidance. And I changed my eating lifestyle. I went vegan and just did things that could like just help myself, like, and I just kind of heal myself. And you just flourish. You just grow and flourish. And I'm so grateful to Maya for giving me the opportunity. And man, we just gotta grind it out. It's lovely.
And I'm so proud of you and thankful and grateful for you too. I see myself in everyone that's just starting something, but I also see the
Awesome.
fire, the passion. I've had that all my life,
Hmm.
but it's always about the opportunity. Because if you can't apply it, then what good is it? If you
That's
can't
right.
ask for it, you might not receive it. So
That's right. That's
ask
right.
somebody. And I believe that you shall receive. You don't have to know everything when you start, and
No,
just
no,
believe in
not at all.
yourself that you have the ability to learn as you
That's
go.
right. Hmm.
We made some mistakes too on stage,
Oh man, just a couple, trying to pull
just
boots
a
up
couple,
and,
but
costumes down and
it's
but
gonna
hey,
happen.
we
It's
move
gonna
we
happen.
learn where not to put the mic stands
Right.
before the show starts.
And those are the best teachers,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
not everyone doesn't know everything
that's
to
right.
apply at every moment, and every moment is very different. So, I mean, we're now more aware of the things that can't take place, whether it's on somebody else, a production over here. There's so many
Right.
components, but it's a learning process with anything that we do and step in regarding new territory. So just
Yep,
never be afraid to learn. And I'm speaking to everybody out there.
that's
I'm
right.
still learning in every area of my life, and I'm always a student, still a student. So, anyhow, shout out to
Anywho,
April. Any
yes,
closing
thank you.
words you
Hope
want to
y'all enjoyed the
say?
video. We had a blast, man. That was a lot of fun. Space and time, perfect timing for the track and video. Hope y'all enjoy it.
Any weird moments that happened?
Oh, when Oh man, outside of okay, there's a couple, but one in particular, I had to chase Gemma down to the horse stall. Yeah, and then Gemma like ran into a swamp. That was a lot of fun. Came home muddy. Anyway, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Good stuff. That was good. That
Mm.
was good stuff. Gemma was just trolling me.
Not trolling.
She was trolling me.
Yeah, so check out the Space and Time video. You're seeing April, who played a part in the behind the scenes and production of the music video
Hmm.
from the DMV, but
Good
through
stuff.
North Carolina.
Through North Carolina, yes.
Yes, stopping
Through the
grounds in North
South,
Carolina.
country girl.
So thank you for hopping on live.
Yeah,
Appreciate you and
absolutely.
hope to see you for round two.
Yeah, see you soon.
Okay. Have a good
All right, good
night.
night, y'all.
Alrighty. Good night. Um, a scribble underscore scribble. Would you like to go live and tell everyone about your vegan challenge experience? To Tom P. Mills. When did you write that song? Space and Time. I wrote that song with Chuck Harmony and Claude Kelly of Lewis York. If you're not following them right now, you need to follow them and get into their music. Lewis York Music is their Instagram handle. And they're just so incredible. We wrote that song in California, Santa Monica, California, at the Village Recording Studios in 2018, 2 years ago, probably over 2 years ago. As a matter of fact, no, almost 2 years ago. It was September of 2018 when we wrote that song. And I gave Chuck a call about moving forward with the song. Um, it was sitting in the archive with lots of other songs we've cut. But I'm like, look, we're all in quarantine right now and we don't know what's happening. But I know one thing. I need this time, but what to do with this time, I feel guilty with. And I think that song speaks a lot of volumes to giving ourselves permission to practice self love, self care. What is that? What does it look like? We usually have the guilty complex when we do anything for ourselves these days. So, um, the song is for everybody out there that, might need just at least some uplifting vibes. Nothing attached to materialism, but more so the soul. Nothing attached to putting anyone down and balling and all that extra stuff that the world is not right now. And that's wonderful. But, you know, speaking from a real place, a human place, because it's a very challenging time in the world with a lot of uncertainty. So I hope you like it and I hope you appreciate it. That was the intention. And it's one of those timeless records. It's R&B, it's pop, it's country, it's alternative, it's just music. And once again, Lewis York Music. That's the production company and the duo of Chuck Harmony and Claude Kelly. Incredible musicians, songwriter, producers, accomplished as well. So once again, A underscore scribble underscore scribble. Would you like to go live with me to talk about your accomplishment and being the winner on the vegan challenge this past um, 3 days in July, 1st through the 3rd? I'm up late. Understand right now, this is now about to be my 26th hour. Yes, 26th hour of completion of this 36-hour power fast of just water, conducted by Shaka Bars. He does it once every week, um, Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. through Tuesday, 12 noon. No food, just water. Spring water is in this cup. Angie keeps requesting, but it won't go through. Strange. Got a lot of got a lot of energy right now. I don't know what's happening. It's 12 o'clock on the dot. Thank you, Ashley Stevens. Hi, XX Barlos. She's also one of my folks down in the southern region who approached me about doing some videography. I still have those notes to send you, by the way. I got caught up in all these interviews um, on that behind the scenes stuff we talked about. So, would you like to go live at a scribble? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Trying to keep up with your comments. Good question. Lovejoy was here. Yes, I do still talk to my friends I grew up with and went to school with. Yes. Hi, Badass Vegan. I talked about you earlier in your film. They're trying to kill us. Would you like to go live to plug your film and let the people know what's up? You can totally say no because it's pretty late. Don't know what side of the world you're on. But it's late here. Oh, cool. I haven't seen the request. Can you send me another? I will try to send you one as well, but I don't think it's allowing me to. Yes, I just sent you one.
Hey,
What's going on? How are you?
not much. Over here
Good to
editing the
see
film.
you.
Good to see you
Everybody,
too.
this is Badass Vegan activists. You can introduce yourself if you like with your government name, or that might be secret.
John Lewis. Just it's funny. I pretty much do the same thing. My motivation is I came into a messed up world. I just want to leave it better than how I found it. That's it.
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
indeed. Can
Yeah.
you let everyone know, first of all, what you're up to right now, but also the film that you produced that took 4 years
For
to
you.
execute or more?
Yeah. If anybody's seen What the Health, I'm co-directing, co-producing the
Mhm.
follow-up film based on food justice and social justice through the lens of hip hop. And Maya is one of my star people in there. We interviewed her. Well, that was 2 years ago now, right?
I was flying.
Yeah,
Crazy.
years ago. But the film is almost done. We probably got about 4 more months of filming because we had to stop when everything came
Mm.
about. But we've been on the back end editing, and it's been looking. It's coming out crazy. It's coming out better than I thought it was. So now, and everybody loves your part. I just want to let you know.
Really?
I know. I
It
know.
was
It's
real
so
Maya
funny. You were like,
Lansky.
I know you were like, I don't know. I was like, nah. Everybody love that
It
part.
was so
Like,
DC.
you let it
Oh,
out. You let it out. You was
it was
trying to
very
hold it
music
in. But you let
industry.
it out.
But yeah, what's the film about? To give people a synopsis or an idea.
So basically, we dive into the realm of government conspiracies, how things are set up for people of color not to basically survive the system that has been set up. And one of the biggest things that we fail to realize is that the food system, food justice, is a part of our social justice. If they don't give us good food, you know, how can they expect somebody to thrive? So, just looking at what we don't even call food deserts anymore. We call them nutrition deserts because it's food in places. It's just no nutrition in the food. So that's one of the biggest things. So that we're diving real deep into that, and also showing how most of these diseases that we have within our communities, they're not necessarily hereditary. We're feeding our DNA. So we all have diseases in our body, but if you don't feed the diseases, they'll leave you alone. But what we're doing is they're supplying us with the ammunition for the diseases, and then we're putting that on into the diseases, and that's why we're having so many problems. So we're trying to give the power back to the people through food.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Can you touch on or tap into what other people are involved, or is that exclusive information right
No,
now?
no, no. So Maya, Stick from Dead Prez, um, Styles P, uh, Damon Dash. Which was funny because I talked to him like the day after I interviewed you, and he was like, "Tell Maya I said what's up." That
Oh,
was two
yeah.
years ago.
That's crazy.
I think I sent you a text though. I think I sent you a text like, "Hey," he said, "What's up?" Um, Eric Adams, Dr. Greger. Um, we got some crazy plug for executive producers, which is crazy. Can't announce those yet, but I can tell. I'll
Hmm.
tell you later. I'll tell you later. Um,
Is I'm
what's
sorry.
that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Finish. So, I wanted to say, first of all, much respect because it's definitely a world to navigate with a lot of criticism and a lot of stigma
Yeah,
attached to it, and to
yeah,
just
yeah.
keep your truth close to you. Was there a turning point in your life that took place that propelled you on this path?
Like my mom's in her 80s, and like my mom picked cotton as a kid. Now, man, she got paid, but she got paid like 2 cents. It was still like, and we grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and my mom always told us to speak up. If we ain't see nothing, if we saw something that wasn't right, speak up. And I've always just kept it in me. So I start seeing like not only my family going through so many things that were wrong, but just seeing what's going on in today. And so the
Mm-hmm.
funny part is, well, not funny, but the interesting part is my mom left Little Rock, Arkansas, and moved to Ferguson, Missouri. So I actually grew up in Ferguson, out of all places, and I saw the injustice that was going on there as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I just stuck to it. So, and I knew I had to like speak up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's
Mm-hmm.
always been about for me. If I see something wrong, I speak up. Got to.
Okay. And then outside of quarantine, of course, and the disruption, what was the most challenging part of making the film? And give that name of the film again for those that are just joining.
I would say so. Again, for anybody that just joined in, the film is basically the follow-up film to What the Health, based off of social justice and food justice. And the film is called They're Trying to Kill Us. Figured why sugarcoat it? Just let it be known. That's the truth. Um, but I would say the most difficult thing is dealing with trying to get everybody's schedule intact, because everybody got their own life. And while you think your documentary is important, you had a tour. Like, remember, we didn't even get to interview you that day till like 2 in the morning because you had an event. Exactly.
Right. Oh
So
yeah, I remember.
you end up
Okay.
taking naps in studios. You just do what you got to do, because we
Mm-hmm.
travel to the people. We don't expect them to come to us. We have to travel to the people,
Mm-hmm.
and really it's just scheduling more than anything is the biggest thing, and just being patient, because it's a documentary, so we're not big budget, and everybody that's you know doing it, they're donating their time to tell their truth. So
Mm-hmm.
what can you say? Now I know some other directors that like complain and this, and I'm like, dude, they helping us out. Like, if they take 2 months, we gonna wait 2 months. You know what I'm saying? And I contacted you like day one. Like when I had the idea, I was like, Maya, I'm gonna need you for this film. It ain't ready yet, but it's coming. And
Yeah.
you showed up. You did. It's been a lot of people that's like, yeah, I'm down, and then
I
you end up
mean,
looking for them later.
traveling across traveling across country isn't easy. Did everybody film in LA or just kind of all over the place?
We filmed in L.A., New York, Miami, St. Louis,
Oh, jeez.
and yeah, and Texas as
Mm-hmm.
well. So, and San Francisco, a little bit of San Fran too. So we've been all over. We probably got like two more trips to L.A., possibly
Mm-hmm.
one more trip to New York, and probably a little bit more filming in Miami. Like, but we got to wrap it up by like September in order to like
Mm-hmm.
try to have it by the end of the year. So
Where can people stay tuned to keep up with you, but also the release date of the film, obviously when it's finished being shot, because I know we're kind of delayed with quarantine, which you mentioned
yeah,
earlier. Tell everybody where they can tune into the trailer, but
Uh,
also how they can follow you.
I have the trailer on my page. I'm Badass Vegan.
Hmm.
And then They're Trying to Kill Us. We have a page for that as well. We have the information as far as the campaign and everything, when it's going to launch and everything is going up. And I would say within the next 2 weeks, we'll probably announce the executive producers, which that's going to be pretty big. And yeah, just keep following Maya. You know, she'll keep y'all up to date with what's going on too.
Awesome.
How's
Well,
everything going? I saw you did the video, right? You were talking about the video you just
yeah,
did.
a little quarantine video in the yard. You know what I'm saying? With the resources that I had and the great team that I had, hometown
That's
team.
what you gotta do.
You know what I'm saying? We made it happen. But yeah, it's called Space and Time. That just came out today. So I've been on live, mostly talking about vegan life. So it was great to see your name. Genesis Butler just joined not too long ago.
Genesis.
She's up
What's up?
late. She's probably in Cali.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Cali.
right. It's 9 o'clock though. There, she all right.
Yeah. It's 12 something over here. But yeah,
Cause
everything's going well. It's been a transitional time for all of us. And,
yeah,
I've just been challenging myself to consume more raw fruits and vegetables, of course, and then conducting these challenges. That just started July 1st. So the next one is August 1st.
yeah.
And trying to stay sane and
Cause
positive.
what's it been now? 10, 12 years vegan?
Oh
Yours?
no, I'm
Or
more of a
was it
newbie. This is six, complete
6?
six.
Oh
So I
wow.
just stepped into the beginning of my seventh year of
Got you.
vegan
Got you.
life.
Got you. I
Mm,
don't know why I thought it was that long ago. I don't know.
no, I was
Uh,
vegetarian like 12 years ago,
that's
but
probably what it
no,
was.
not quite vegan.
Because that's when we met through your stylist way back. Um, oh, he gonna kill me for forgetting his name. In Miami.
Leon Frazier. Yes.
Crazy. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day. Yep. He was like,
Yep.
I know somebody you should meet. And I'm like, who? He's like, Maya. He's like, you ever heard of Maya? I'm like, yeah, I heard of
I was
Maya.
vegetarian. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I was training him back then. That was back in the day when I was still training. That
Yep.
was back in Miami. I saw him at an event at in New Orleans actually. Just happened to be down there for
Uh-oh. Your page just froze.
what's that?
Now 12:12.
Oh,
Okay, we had a
yeah.
little delay. Your page just froze.
Probably was at 12:12. That's probably what it was. Yeah, I saw him at the Essence Festival. It's gone?
Okay.
Is it back?
What was that?
That's back.
Yes.
I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
tell him what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ended up seeing him at the Essence Festival. That's where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 years ago, I want to say. And I hadn't seen him in probably 10 years almost. Felt like I hadn't seen him in a minute. But that was good. He was doing good, though. Have you talked to him at all lately?
What was the name?
Frazier.
Oh, yes, Leon. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we keep in touch frequently. I saw him
yeah.
actually at the top of this year in Miami with an event that I did late January. Mm-hmm.
Got you. Oh, you got down there right in time
Ha.
before you couldn't go down. I said you got down there right in time before you couldn't go back no more.
Oh, you mean hurricanes and all that stuff? Or
Hurricanes and the quarantine.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think it kicked off with around February.
Yeah, February, but mostly March for the US and
Yeah,
travel bans. And then actual rules of staying home, stay at home orders, all that stuff happened in March, you know, here
yeah.
anyway.
And I know you
Yeah.
had some tours scheduled too, right?
I was in the midst of a tour and we landed in Dublin, Ireland for the first city. And it had hit that day and been
Wow.
announced the day that we landed.
Wow.
And, we were, no one was really practicing social distancing. We didn't even hear of that terminology until the end of the tour. The
Wow.
day, the very last day of our tour, we ended in Birmingham, UK, and we had a day off, which was the day Donald Trump put the travel ban into effect.
Oh,
And we didn't know if we were going to make it back or not because everyone
wow.
was quick to post and send text messages and emails, etc. And everyone went into a panic and a frenzy. And so we didn't know what the real deal was and if that applied to US citizens, Americans, what. All
Wow.
we know is that the airport was jam packed the next day after our day off with American citizens, US citizens, excuse me. And the line took forever. There were 5, 6, 8 hour delays between flights. Some people missed their connecting flights because of the rush to try to get out of there. Overbookings, cancellations, all kinds of stuff. But we made it back safe and sound and healthy. Yeah.
Man.
So that was
Yeah, I
our.
know some people that did get trapped like in Italy. I know a couple that like that got stuck in Italy. They finally, I think, now they're still there actually. Yeah, they ain't been able to come back yet. So they
Mm-hmm.
got stuck in Italy, but they weren't too mad about it either.
Yeah. I'm actually
So
really grateful for this time because this is time I haven't had in a long time, but obviously compassion lies with the rest of the world and
yeah,
what everyone is struggling with, which varies. So it has not been easy. I've had to find productivity in this time and new focus, but I'm thankful for
that's good.
this time.
I mean, and you're creative though too. So you're creative. So your
Mm-hmm.
mind, when you got idle time, it's gonna automatically start creating automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So probably been coming up with some good stuff for when it's
Yeah,
all over.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to
Go
hold
ahead.
you up, but
If Shaka come on here, tell him what's up. I'm
okay.
actually supposed. I'm trying to schedule an interview with him. We've been trying to get a schedule together, but then this all happened too. So we'll see
Okay.
what's up when we get the interview with him as well. So
For sure. I
if he
will.
logs on,
Okay. I'll tell him.
yeah.
And thank you so much for joining impromptu style.
Thanks. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. We'll do a
Appreciate it.
live. We'll do a live like next week or something. We'll get
Okay,
together
cool.
next week.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Bye
All right.
everybody.
Have a blessed
Talk to you.
night.
Bye. You too.
Badass vegan, John Lewis. All right. That was interesting. How did I do as an interviewer that I wasn't planning on being tonight? um, so the film he was talking about is called They're Trying to Kill Us. The trailer's out right now, and I believe the Instagram handle is They're Trying to Kill Us or Hungry for Justice. And his personal handle is at Badass Vegan. Lots of great information. And he's connected to a strong vegan community because a lot of you guys have asked me about those types of things all night. Diet, food, temptation, reasons to go vegan, when the next challenge is, etc. So just giving you some resources. Let's see. Hi, Genesis. How are you doing tonight? Genesis is an incredible activist. I'm not sure how old you are now, but I'm thinking maybe around 10 or 11 years old. I know that you're on the West Coast right now. And, well, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming. So it's a lot earlier there than it is here. Indeed. And I'm so proud of you and all of your endeavors and your activism in the vegan community. You are definitely a voice, and not just vegan, but climate change and environment. I follow Miss Genesis Butler, so if you have kids or you simply want to learn about the movement as well, you know, that's Jax in the background snoring again with his classic snore. Follow her, Genesis Butler. She's a great inspiration and leader, and a now 13 years old. Come on, little lady, woman. Appreciate you joining. And by the way, Genesis Butler has an underscore at the end. Yes, that is my dog in the background snoring. Jax, what are we doing right now? Catching a nap? Ah, ah, the love of my life, Jax. Yeah, man. Um, Someone asked me if I wanted kids. That has actually never kicked in for me as a desire. I'm sure that one day I will want kids, but definitely not a goal right now, but maybe sometime in the future. The desire hasn't actually kicked in, like baby fever or anything like that, but I think kids are amazing. And I'm so interested in learning about the ways of the world. And I also want to make sure that this world sees positive change before I bring kids into it. Um, Open Minded asks about my hair and if I use vegan products. I do. And I actually make my own stuff. So right now, I have a conditioner in by Shea Moisture, which is vegan and cruelty free. But I also make my moisturizer, which is with coconut oil, olive oil, sea moss, and what else? Some essential oil for a beautiful scent. And I currently have the honeydew melon scent in right now. Yeah, and it just keeps the scalp moisturized, the hair very soft, you know. So that's what I've been making at home. So this is what I wanted to say to you guys. I want, if you're interested, to put a video together of you all. And I would like you to send some footage or photos or both of yourselves during this quarantine so that I can make a montage of the things that you've been up to, whether it's having fun in your living room or outdoors with your kids or by yourself reading a book, whatever it is that you've been doing in this time and what you do in your own space or with others. Um, just to put some good vibes out there. I can only do so much in one music video, but I thought I would connect with you and maybe produce something that includes you since I can't be with you and we can't really be with each other right now. So if you're interested, you can send your submissions to mayasubmissions@gmail.com and I will work on downloading everything. MP4s are accepted, .movs are accepted, photos, JPEG are accepted, PNG files, TIFF files are accepted. So if you want to, send me some photos of what you've been up to, kitchen, cooking, laughing, acting crazy, yoga, meditation, reading a book, like I said, playing sports outdoors, dancing, just whatever it is. Um, but listen to the song first as well. And you tell me what resonates so that I can put something special together for you that includes you. mayasubmissions@gmail.com. Uh-huh. Hey, Jax, they are trolling you right now. Somebody just said that your snoring sounds like a Volvo. What you gonna do about it? You got 24 hours to respond. So, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I really want Jax to come over here, but hear the magic words. Hey, Jax, do you want to go for a walk? Come get your treat. Come get a treat. I have some wild earth treats for him, which are vegan treats for dogs. Come say hi to the people, man. He got it real quick. What you want to say about that person that says, um, you sound like a Volvo? Talking about my dog. Say hi to the people, man. Say hi to the people. Look at those puppy eyes. Good boy. What you want to do? 24 hours to respond or no? Ah, that's Jax. Let me get this camera right. I had a good time kicking it with you guys in the chill vibes tonight. I haven't been able to go live with all of you that have requested, but it was great to see a lot of you that I do know personally or virtually up in here. Jax is not a bad dog, by the way. Tarvamp. He can get stubborn at times, but he's such a big baby. He's such a big boy and a good boy and a protector. He's ready for his WALK. And he knows he's special. But yes, Jax. He has so many nicknames. Boss, Baby Jax, Jax Attacks. Animals are the best, and they have got me through. So anyhow, I've enjoyed myself with you guys. We've been on for how many hours? 2 hours and 27 minutes. Time flies. I guess I could do a radio show if I wanted to, or a podcast. But I hope you do enjoy the new music. The Truth video is out right now. Space and Time video just dropped today on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maya Vivo. The link is also in my bio to watch it directly. There's also another song from my R&B heads that I released in April, 4/20 to be exact, on our 22nd anniversary. It's called You Got Me Part 2. Ladies, R&B lovers, that is for you specifically. Anyhow, I appreciate everybody that came through. The next vegan challenge is August 1st through the 3rd. The 3-day reset info is on my website, mayamaya.com/lifestyle, but also in the events section, mayamaya.com/events. The free vegan starter guide is at mayamaya.com/lifestyle. Merchandise, I was asked about that earlier. That's all on mayamaya.com/shop, including the wine, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, caps, all that stuff, CDs, vinyl. I personalize it and I send it out directly to your doorstep. But that's for those that are interested. Speaking about 2 apps before we get off, I'm doing personal video messages and happy birthdays and graduations, all that stuff, anniversaries on Cameo. You can follow them on Instagram at Cameo, but it's also an app that you can download to request your videos. And Candy is also a new platform. You can follow them at meetcandy.com is the website, but also Meet Candy is the platform on Instagram. And I donate to a grassroots organization of your choice every meet and greet. And Candy, what they do is basically conduct meet and greets with some of your favorite artists, actors, musicians, comedians, etc., personalities, and you get some one-on-one private virtual time via Zoom to ask questions, ask advice, and I personally donate to the causes that you recommend, and that's how I also connect outside of IG Live. On August 1st through the 3rd, I'll be conducting sessions from my kitchen on the Candy app with about 20 to 50 virtual viewers on Zoom via Candy as we start to explore the space of either smoothies and raw food challenge or vegan challenge and help you guys out with the preparation of meals. So those are more exclusive situations, but just wanted to share that with you and what's coming up. I'm currently in the studio recording the audiobook for the starter guide because a lot of people don't want to read all that craziness, but instead listen so they can multitask. And yeah, that's what I've been working on along with the next album. So for now, I hope you enjoy the new art. Shout out to my brothers, Louis York, uh, Claude Kelly, Chuck Harmony, Katie Davis, who mixed the record, Oasis Mastering, Kirk Frazier of May 3rd Films, Derek Brown, D. Brown Dancer, Creative Director, AOAP. Like my team, I posted them on Instagram, and all the credits are um, in the description box on YouTube. So y'all have an incredible night. I will take one last question or maybe two, but I hope you received and had a good time with me. We had some crazy moments. We had some inspiring moments. We had some very chill moments tonight. But yeah, I'm here to serve you. And I hope that you loved today's video. Leave a comment in the comment box on YouTube and give me some feedback. Any last questions? Any last requests to go live? Angie Supernova. Let's see if the vegan challenge winner is in the house. Just when I think I'm about to wrap up, I see a whole lot of requests in one box, which I think I was missing before when I called y'all shy. Hold on, bear with me. I should have had some music in the background. Oh, let's see. I'm scrolling. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna go live with my July Vegan Challenge winner. I just requested you, Ashley. So we're not done yet. My bad. I thought we were closing out. I hear something. Hey, what's up,
Hey,
Ashley? How are you doing?
I'm
You are
good.
still up.
I'm I'm wide awake. It's the water.
We had
It's
yes,
definitely the water.
yes. We had our meet and greet not too long ago for about an hour on Zoom tonight, me and you. But
Yep.
anything you want to share about the 3 day reset challenge that we just did July 1st through the 4th?
Yeah, I can't wait for August. The 3-day reset was definitely a success. And like I told you before, it definitely helped me stay on track with, my struggles with with snacking. So
You want to share some specifics about your struggle with snacking? Because we can all relate.
I mean, I got a real close relationship with potato chips. So
Not a close relationship. Really?
we got a close
So
relationship.
how close?
It's pretty bad. It's like midnight trips to the grocery store or to the Wawa to get some chips. Yeah, it's bad. But not during the 3-day reset, so
Mhm.
it definitely helped.
So Ashley took the alkaline vegan challenge for 3 days. And were there any
hmm
differences that you saw after your 3 days or even during the 3 days?
Definitely more energy. Definitely helped me be creative in the kitchen. That's for
Mm,
sure. Trying out new recipes and working on trying to figure out like we talked about food combinations and stuff like that,
yes.
and knowing what to mix with what, and learning about new herbs and spices.
Amazing.
So it was definitely a great experience. I do have a question for you though.
Hmm.
Have you ever used sea moss as like a face mask?
I have, and I also just explained how I use it in this leave-in conditioner, I would say, or moisturizer
Mm-hmm.
that I make myself
Mm-hmm.
with coconut oil, olive oil, sea moss, and an essential scented oil. But that's really it. I've used it as a face mask for sure, and I even put it on mosquito bites to see what it would do. But I learned from Central America that papaya is really good for mosquito bites or even any kind of like rash on your leg, poison ivy. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Hmm.
So like just the fruit itself, just
Just the
because I
fruit,
know they said like the seeds are good for like parasite cleanse.
I'm sure.
That's what I
You can
heard.
dehydrate a lot of seeds. I don't think the seed is safe. I've heard that it's toxic
Mm,
to
I
consume.
wouldn't mess with
But
that.
avocado seeds, you can put in your
Uh-huh.
smoothies. I've never tried the papaya
Mm-hmm.
seeds ever, but they remind me of caviar, and I'm thinking about like kind of putting them into a smoothie or a NutriBullet and adding them to a face mask to see how that works. But it's really good for the
Okay.
skin, papaya, whether you ingest it or you
Mm-hmm.
use it on your skin directly.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'll definitely have to try
I've
that.
used that and mango
See, you.
for a face mask. So basically, when you finish your fruit, you can eat your whole fruit. You can save your seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Let the seeds dry out if you want, just like pumpkin seeds, and you can eat them later on. But you use your
Okay.
peels and the insides of the peels to apply
Uh-huh.
the remnants. So you don't actually waste any of the fruit. I've done the same
Mm,
thing with avocado. I've put all of that stuff in my hair as well, you know.
good to
Hmm.
know. Because, like our skin is our biggest organ. So that's like one of the
Yes.
things I've been looking into, trying to figure
Non
out
toxic.
what ingredients to put on our
Yep.
skin. Yeah. That's definitely good to know. See, you're always coming up with great ideas. Thank you for the inspiration and for keeping us
For
creative.
sure. I mean, you're inspiring as well. When I went to your page, I was like, okay, she's making her own spelt flour pizza crust and
Mm-hmm.
tortillas. And I was just so
Mm-hmm.
impressed at the process because you said earlier that it's time consuming and following the actual
Definitely.
list of what's alkaline. I don't know if Perrier water is alkaline. I don't know if it was spring water or sparkling water, but it
Sparkling
was,
water, I think so. I think so. I saw it in a book somewhere.
yeah, well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. See, I learned something from your page. But it's also not about perfection, but progress. And that's not what I was
Always.
judging
Mm-hmm.
on, but I was just super impressed with the time and the commitment and the effort put in to something that's very difficult for all of us because it's limited, but
Very
preparing
limited.
everything from
Yes.
scratch too with the non-traditional ingredients is a whole nother learning
Yeah.
curve and then a whole nother process. So
Yeah.
congratulations,
Yeah.
Ashley.
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of
Thank you so
you.
much.
You got a whole lot of
Thanks.
things coming your way in increments.
I can't wait. And I'm ready for the next challenge. I'm gonna take on juicing.
Oh, see, I've only done 1 day of juicing in my challenges. I would say maybe after a couple of these water fasts that I'm doing, I will be ready for 3 consecutive days. But I'm gonna do that maybe in the
Okay.
fourth quarter, not the third yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Let's come on, we're gonna do it together. You gotta keep me accountable.
For sure. Anything you want to say? Where you from?
I'm from Jersey, and if my brother Sean at HU's Finest is still on here, please tell Maya you come into the next challenge, and you're gonna have a salad for the first time ever in your
We're
life.
just gonna hold Sean accountable now and give him some
That,
restriction, rules, and
that's
punishment
right.
if he doesn't.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Oh man, health is wealth. So
Always,
thank you,
yes.
Ashley, our July
Thank
3 day
you.
challenge winner, vegan reset. Next challenge, August 1st through the 3rd. You finish on the 4th at the time you started on the 1st. For everybody that wants to join, this is our winner. Somebody said what part of
Mm-hmm.
Jersey, but I don't think he want any stalkers right now, so we're gonna leave that out.
South, South. We
Also,
just want
somebody
to say
commented about
South.
your earrings earlier. So Do you want to
Oh,
share
thank
where you got
you.
them from? Are they
I
custom?
got them from a flea market.
Mm-hmm.
The flea market is where you go for all the exclusive.
Where is the flea market? Jersey or somewhere where you traveled
Uh,
to?
Columbus, yeah, it's in New
Okay.
Jersey.
Amazing.
Columbus Flea Market. If you're from Jersey, you know.
Thank you for the message and the info and the participation.
Thank you. No problem.
Now, get some rest tonight and tell your mom I said nice to meet her again.
I will. She finally woke up. She heard you.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Peace, Ashley. Her Instagram
See
handle
ya.
is at a_scribble_scribble if you want to see all of her challenge slides and posts and meals on her alkaline vegan 3-day reset that she did and won. So much love and
Yep.
respect and success,
Thank
Ashley.
you.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Night, everybody.
That was so cute. So I hope you guys join the next challenge. Once again, free starter guide on myamaya.com/lifestyle and info in that section as well as the events section. Huh. Okie dokie. Well, let's see. I will go live with one more person before 1 o'clock, but by 1 o'clock, we're going to get off of here because it'll be 3 hours. And shout out to Denise Lawton. Hey, lady, how are you feeling? How are you doing? What's going on in your world? Oh. Hi, Sarah. Mint SLB. Sarah's one of my, I think, 2018 Vegan Challenge winners. Yes. Okay, Angie. I'm going to go live with Angie right now, who is one of my other Vegan Challenge winners. And that will conclude tonight. I don't even think Instagram TV, if I want. Can anybody give me that answer? 3 hours is a long time. Hi, Angie. Angie underscore supernova. Is that right? Or is it Angie supernova?
Yeah. Underscore.
Angie underscore supernova. I cannot keep track. What's your cooking page?
It's Cooking with a Supernova.
See, I got one letter off. Cooking with a supernova.
Yeah.
Is Angie's cooking page, and Angie is a challenge winner of 2 times in my vegan challenge. Do you want to let the people know out there which challenge you started off on first?
Yeah. 2018. I did a regular vegan challenge, and I think that's the one I actually won. And then I just kind of kept going. I think the third quarter I did raw, and then the fourth quarter I think I kind of mixed it up. And then last year, I think I did juicing last year. I'm not sure. I've done a lot of your challenges, so what I haven't done yet is the alkaline. So I may try that soon. I feel like I have this camera way too close to my face.
We all feel that on Instagram. I mean, it's invasive. This whole
it really is.
Yeah.
With my hair.
But yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Good to see your face.
Good. You too.
Angie is a faithful supporter on Candy, so I just wanted to extend my appreciation. And you definitely recommended a couple of foundations to donate to. So thank you for that too.
Yeah.
Do you want to share anything with the people, your vegan or spiritual journey? Having a family and transitioning them is a big question I get asked.
Oh, yeah.
You could probably answer that better than I can.
Yeah. I have an 8-year-old, and she was, I think, 6 when I started. And the biggest thing was just starting with transitional foods. So she loved chicken nuggets. So we found vegan chicken nuggets, and she ate those and loved them. And over time, just kind of teaching her about health. So surprisingly, she started eating kale. She loved kale salads. I was shocked by that. But I seasoned them well, and I also got her involved in the process, which I think is what helped. And so it's been about 2 years, and she's, she eats vegetables. She doesn't like every vegetable, but I do introduce her to different foods. And the biggest thing is seasoning, oil, seasoning. When I prepare my meals, I season them the same way I would meat. And that tends to make a difference. And so my entire family, and my husband as well, they had no problem giving up meat and going more towards vegetables. And what's interesting is the more you eat vegetables, your body starts to change. You begin to crave it more. You don't really crave meat. That's at least what we've experienced. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Like any resistance from outside or extended family members that had any concern?
No, not resistance, I would say. Trying to get my family to do it has been challenging. But if I go over there and I cook for them, of course they love my food anyway. So if I cook, they'll eat. And my mom, I took her a bunch of vegetables the other day. A couple weeks ago, I went over and I barbecued for them. So I brought some Impossible burgers for her to try, and they loved it. For her to try, and they loved it. And I have my own garden, so I brought some zucchini and squash, and mushy season your food and prepare it, and it's good.
Someone wants to connect with you, by the way. Take this information down. They want to ask you, Angie, and her name is Eva, EVA_NYZE. They want to ask you, well, they need your help on how to get their kids to eat more vegetables. So you can either offer advice now or connect with them.
Yeah, just send me a DM. Because I can't really see the comments that well. Send me a DM and I'll connect with you.
Eva_NYZE. Go ahead and connect with Angie via DM, and she'll hook you up with the info on getting kids to transition and eat more veggies.
I would say it's just understanding what do they like to eat. If you get an understanding of what someone likes and try to meet them where they are, and do small substitutions. Don't expect everything to happen overnight. Depending on what they like, but it's just about being open and trying different things and exploring. And I will say this too. What helped me tremendously in 2018 was, first of all, I did review Maya's transition guide, and she has like so many resources on there. And I started ordering things through veganessentials.com, because there's a lot of things that I've tried at the mainstream grocery stores that I really didn't like different cheeses and stuff. But when you start going to kind of like other vegan outlets, you get a wider scope of products that you can try. And so that helped me, because I tried various cheeses, and then I found one that I really liked, and that helped. And then I also started following a lot of vegan pages. So when I did the raw vegan challenge, the biggest thing was I didn't want to just eat salad. So I literally went to a raw vegan restaurant. I followed a ton of pages. I looked at people's recipes. I got a dehydrator. I started doing everything I saw, and I was surprised. I was like, oh, this is not that bad. And I managed to make it 21 days for 3 months doing raw vegan. And and that, I don't know, it's incredible. I found myself being a lot more creative, and healthy.
Amazing.
All in my
See, I didn't even know
face.
that. Awesome.
Huh?
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
said
I
that's
didn't. I couldn't
awesome.
see. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the screen or the app froze for a second. But
Oh.
I did want to know if you had any highlights from winning the challenges or even just in your
Oh yeah.
journey in general.
Well, I would definitely say the biggest highlight was the Costa Rica trip.
Oh yeah.
I've never experienced anything like that before. We climbed waterfalls, and it was funny. Um, it's hard to explain. You just, when you immerse yourself in nature, you just start to see things a little differently. And it's very difficult to explain if you haven't done it. But we went into the jungle, and we literally climbed, I think, like 12 waterfalls. And it was funny because I was kind of scared as we were going through, because I'm not a great swimmer. And there was a couple of moments I think you had to pull me across the water, because I was like, ah. But I don't know, it was interesting to be out there and just to see the world from a different perspective. And another thing I noticed that was interesting was the plane ride out there. I saw the landscape change. When we got into Costa Rica, it was nothing but greenery, and it was gorgeous. But then when I was coming back home and we got, over America, you see all these subdivisions, and the greenery was gone. And it's just, you just see a difference. So that was one thing. But yeah, the trip was amazing. We had a great time.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
host another one, especially after this quarantine situation.
Oh, God,
So,
I need a beach.
honestly. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much for, first of all, participating in the challenges so faithfully every single year, and your positive spirit, your encouragement, your motivation, and for getting on Instagram live tonight to share your experience impromptu
I
at this hour.
right.
It's
Just
it's
let this
always nice
down.
to hear another perspective and what
Hmm.
it did for someone else. So yeah, that was really cool of
Yeah.
you, and you
Yeah.
are
I didn't.
appreciated. Hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Definitely. We're
Yes.
still here.
Any closing
Yeah.
words to the people?
Uh, just stay open, try
Yeah.
something. Just try something. And I think the biggest thing is don't close yourself off to something new, because you never know where it will take you. I'll never forget, I started off as, just a fan on her page, leaving comments. And I remember the first time I got a like, I was like, oh my God, Maya liked my comment. But, I participated in the challenge, and then things just changed. They changed. And I won't go into a lot of details, but just be open, because you never know where your life will take you. So that's it.
Well, thank you, Miss Angie Supernova, and I appreciate you.
I
And I
you
hope
as
you have an
well.
incredible night. Follow her at Angie_Supernova or Cooking with A Supernova is her cooking page.
Yeah.
Vegan challenge winner of 2 years
Hmm.
and a beautiful mother and wife and human being. So
Oh,
much respect.
thank
Hope to
you.
see you on the next
Thank
challenge,
you.
alkaline style.
I'm trying. That's gonna be my next one, for real.
Yes, yes,
All
indeed.
right. Well,
Okay,
have a
have a
good night.
blessed night.
You too. You
All
too.
righty.
All right. Bye.
Peace. And here we go. This is so cool. I've been on here for almost 3 hours with you guys. I have just requested one more person. Hi, Shaka. How are
Well,
you? Have you
happy.
completed your 36-hour power fast? You
Yes,
said
I
at the top of this situation that you had 3 hours left, and we're now 3 hours on
yeah,
Instagram.
and it's technically 5 minutes, but I might just open this now.
Is that a watermelon that I see?
Oh, it's a natural one. Wait, let me show
With
you.
seeds.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Where are you at in the world? I know where you are, but everyone else. This is Shaka Bars, by the way, a very intelligent, super educated human being that is very conscious and aware of many things happening globally that you can learn from. And I'm welcome.
Self-educated. I didn't go to no university.
Self-educated, not miseducated. Self-educated, not miseducated. Exactly. Independent thinker, doer. So, I mean, I could go on and on. But you can learn a lot from his page at Shaka Bars. And he's definitely leading the way for many of us.
How's your fast going?
It's great. I didn't think I could get through today because I had 2 hungry spells, but I got back into my mental state, mind over matter, which I've done several times, obviously. And
Mm.
I've kept myself thoroughly busy. So it's been super easy. And I'm now at my, what is it? Entering the, 27th hour of 36 hours on just water.
Good, good. That that
Yeah.
that when you fast somewhere, it's gonna taste sweet. I get the most euphoric stage, kind of the evening, the
Mm-hmm.
Monday evening, and then the Sunday when I rise. Sorry, and then the Tuesday when I rise, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
drinking more water and I walk around. I start feeling high, 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 and
Mm-hmm.
then I celebrate fruit.
Amazing.
Where
So
you at?
I'm on the east coast of the US right now. I'm not going to be specific, but yeah, just on the east coast and
Mm,
at home.
you need to go to the east coast of Africa. They
Yes,
didn't
I
shut
do.
down.
I was actually trying to go to the east coast of Africa at the end of, I think it was, top of December. But the visa couldn't be processed, and I know I told you about it because you said you should have hit me up because I got people. But I ended up going to East Africa from Uganda instead of making my way back.
My niece and nephew, they just went to Tanzania. No
Hmm.
test, no lockdown. The schools are still open. No masks.
No
No nothing like that.
vaccines. Yeah.
No biological warfare. Because it's interesting because the president of Uganda has got a PhD in chemistry. So he's one of the few world leaders who actually understands health and science. And because he's got a PhD, he kicked the WHO out of the country. He's like, nah,
Hmm.
you're not doing this.
Hmm.
So I think Tanzania might be next. Plus, Tanzania has a whole heap of elephants.
Oh, nice. Dar es Salaam or somewhere else?
Yeah. More out in the countryside.
Okay. I didn't think so. I've been to Tanzania once in Zanzibar, but never seen any elephants. So yeah. How is it Saving the Elephants? What
Um,
is the name of the new
I'm trying to get these elephants that are right now being abused for money. I'm trying to get these elephants free. And
Mm-hmm.
so I went to the east of Thailand the other day um, to go and meet the actual owner of the elephants because the guy who's here on the island doesn't own the elephants. And I realized that actually elephants here is like a family business, and when I went to the east of Thailand to see like where all these elephants are coming from, they breed these elephants, then they abuse them from when they're very, very small with like these metal hooks that they hit in their temple till they bleed. They chain them, they do all kinds of crazy stuff so that they can break them, so that people can ride them indefinitely. So here's me coming along saying, I want to help these elephants, and they're saying, how does it make us money? So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. If I was a multi-millionaire, which I will be at some point, I would just pay to free them myself. But it's like each elephant, buy an elephant. Technically, you're not allowed to, but if you wanted to buy an elephant to give it to a sanctuary, is $50,000 each elephant. So it's not cheap. So I'm working on it.
Goodness gracious. Well, I know that they bring you a lot of joy, and it's very refreshing to see if you tune into his page, the interactions with these beautiful creatures who are also vegan, correct?
How's the vegan challenge going? I see you got half the world right now.
No. I mean, it's very lightweight and very simple because when I first started conducting these challenges, I went raw vegan, but started at 7 days. And that was a bit much for people to be motivated by or encouraged by. And so this year, I am narrowing it down to 3 days to make it more, say, easy. And there's incentive, just like every year, with gifting for a free virtual meet and greet, which I did tonight with the winner. But 3 easy days, you choose the challenge of your choice, whether it's vegan, raw vegan, alkaline vegan, or juicing. And as we know, there are different versions of alkaline foods all across the world, and there's not one specific chart. But I provide people, with a couple of different things that they can utilize, that they have access to. And then all of that stuff is in the starter guide as well, or at least the directories. And so what I do is choose a winner by going through everyone's page and looking at their before, their after, what they're up to, every slide, to see if it is actually a challenge for them or if they have expertise in this area already. And then I gift the person that has just basically the most passion, consistency, and has really put in the work and the thought. Not so much perfection, because when you're taking a challenge, you're learning and pushing yourself to next level. But that's basically what it consists of as I do the challenge with them. In this particular one, I did raw vegan for the first day because I honestly fell off cooking for my family and doing a lot of processed foods at some point, getting them to transition with the transitional processed foods. And then the second day I did alkaline vegan. And then the third day I did all juicing. And then after that, I really reset my body, which is why I renamed it the 3-day reset. And I started just craving the raw foods. And 3 days has always been the time frame that it's taken for me to just fully adjust my body to crave the things that I feed it. And so we start there, and many people continue, and don't really want to start putting those snacks and processed foods back into their system, unless, of course, they're taking the vegan challenge. So it's really short, it's really easy. I stopped intersecting with holidays where people like to barbecue or cookouts because it's very discouraging. But, I like people to feel the difference, but also have some tools to start with, because there's a whole nother world of how to eat, when to sleep, that we're just not aligned with in this man-made world anymore. And I'm still learning as a student and just advancing in my time. This time that I do now have that I didn't have before.
And
how was your water fast? And
I'm saying it's a good thing that you're, because right now, if I show you the tide, it's a new moon, so the tide is all the way
it's
up.
A double moon, correct?
It's good. Yeah, it's good to fast with the full moon and a new moon
as well, and a double moon.
So the tide, the sun is it's usually all the way up, but it's all the way out right now. My fast,
Yep.
I figure this is gonna be me for the rest of my life. I started it now 5 months ago. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
missed one yet. Um, it was one of my elders, Dr. Aris Latham, or Dr. Aris Latham. He's 45 years raw vegan. And
It looks amazing.
I met him a few years ago and he spoke to me. What did he say?
I said,
Oh,
and
it's
he looks
freezing. Can
amazing.
you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, is wait, bring me back, bring me back.
Uh-oh. Service issues, international service issues. We'll try it again. But I have willpower. He can continue to eat his watermelon in front of me. I saw some of the comments. It was rude for him to eat that watermelon. Well, I'm on a water fast. Oh, this is the 27th hour of just water. No food. Shaka, they're telling you to put the watermelon away. That is rude to eat it in front of me. Oh boy.
Bro, I
But
mean, oh yeah, Aris. So
mhm,
I met him a few years ago and he was telling me about the benefits of being raw. And I'd done it before, but I hadn't done it like, I did it for 6 months before and then I stopped and then I did it for 6 months again after I met him. But now, kind of where I'm at, I'm just like, I think that this might just be me for the rest of my life.
mhm.
I'm just raw because not only do I feel the best, but I look the best. As we grow, we realize that we don't need to eat as much food as we eat.
Yep.
And I also think that, but I don't know though, because that ackee
Oh,
in
let it
Jamaica though,
freeze again.
is it working?
Yes, it froze after you said, "Oh, we don't need to eat."
I was gonna say, we don't need to eat as much as we eat. We're conditioned to eat as if we're working on a slave plantation, so we just throw food down ourselves, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's not even food now; it's food-like products, and then the consequences are our families dying of cancer, diabetes, hypertension, so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure that I'm just going to be raw for the rest of my life. But I do have a particular soft spot for Ethiopian food and ITIL food,
Mm-hmm.
especially ackee. Ackee is my fruit.
I
Like when
love
you make ackee,
ackee.
boy,
I
you remember
found
that
some
ackee that
here in Maryland, but it's canned, and that's the only bad part. Right? It's not the same.
do you remember that we had in Jamaica when
Yeah,
the chef came made it up fresh?
man. And the hummus. I just put the challenge winner onto snacks recommended by you, the seaweed and hummus, because she said she had a snack addiction. Excuse me. But
Seaweed and hummus.
yeah, ackee is so good, and I cooked that recently for my father, my aunt, and my grandmother, and they loved it. I put it, of course, within some rice and peas, jerk rice and peas, and vegetables, which is how they acquired it, not separately, but they loved it.
Mhm.
And it was new for them because they never had it before, you know.
I
Callaloo.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
callaloo, plantain, and ackee and avocado. That's like the win right there.
Oh yeah, hair. What did I want to ask? Oh, I was listening to something today, and it said other cultures of the world have abstained from eating for days at a time, just like many animals in nature do, and that we do not need to eat every day. That was really interesting because I never grew up like that. None of us really have. And that you also don't even need 3 meals a day. And
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where that tradition came from of the 3 meals a day. Oh, when the conquerors came to the Americas and
Mm-hmm.
they supposedly witnessed how the natives were living in those days,
Mm-hmm.
that they would consume their food, they would eat all day. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's when the idea of 3 meals a day and how it's necessary for your diet without taking into consideration the days off from
Mm.
eating at all was adopted. And now we've just gotten out of hand. So that was really interesting. I've never heard that before, never was taught that before. Learning something new every day.
I mean, they. The thing is that the Africans that created religion, whether it's Judaism or Christianity or Islam, based on Bilal, the Ethiopian, who was actually captured by Arabs and forced to Mecca as a slave, and he was the first one to do the call to prayer. They, in their Orthodox rituals, they have fasting. Like in Ethiopia, they fast for a month, twice a year. They fast during period of Lent, and then if you look at like the religious texts, you see how people they read about Jesus during the 40 days and 40 nights, and then they don't. And it's like, I don't know if I'm on 40 days, 40 nights fasting, like just drinking water. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm there yet, but I'll get there. But I've done 7 days before. Some of my friends have done 30 days, 21 days. And the benefits that you get, it's like people think if you don't eat, you're going to starve. But they don't understand that they're not actually feeding themselves with a lot of the products that they're consuming. They're actually hindering their organs, compromising their mucus. When I was an African holistic nutritionist, I was also a personal trainer, and I was helping couples who couldn't conceive be able to conceive by just changing simple things within their diet because they were over consuming. And so they were clogging up the cervix, they were clogging up the testicles, they were just clogging up all these areas that are kind of imperative for having healthy babies. And the reason why I'm so healthy is because my mother raised me Rasta. She raised me Aito. So I was, for the formative years of my life, until I was like, I think 11, I ate only plant-based foods. And I was breastfed 2.5 years. And lots of kind of, we basically ate like poor Indian people. That's how Rastas eat. You basically eat like financially oppressed Indian people. Lots of lentils, lots of rice, lots of greens. If anything, if it's ever like a curry or a stew, it's vegetable based. And now, then I ate meat for like 10 years, and then I've gone back again. And it took me a while. It took me like 3 years to get to being plant-based again. And then it took me maybe another 2 years or 3 years to be able to stand raw eating. So now I think for my life, I'm just going to be raw, like 90% raw. I've got a snack company that I'm starting, so I'm going to have to eat some of the snacks that I'm going to be making or having made to test them out. But generally speaking, like your skin, your hair, your brain function, your memory retention, like I can remember books that I read years ago, like line for line. And that I wasn't able to do that when I was consuming animals, and I wasn't able to do that when I was consuming lots of rice, lots of pasta, all these starchy foods. And so I figure that the real freedom, the real emancipation, like Baba Dr. Africa said, is that there is no revolution without the revolution of health. There's no conscious revolution without the revolution of health, because health is not just what is inside of your body. Health is also what is inside of your mind. And you can't free up what is inside of your mind if you don't free up what is inside of your body. So I'm just trying to get to a better place, yoga every day. 4 months now doing the fasting. I started it with a 7-day water fast. Raw now for 5 months, no sex for 6 months. Just like trying to master my highest self, but doing it by my lowest self first, you know?
Yeah. Also, someone had a question for you and asked if you, well, while you fast, do you work out?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's only 36 hours. It's like the first rising that you work out, you still got people have this idea that energy from food comes from the food that they're consuming immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Energy, if you look at like the metabolic system within your body, it takes hours for you to be able to break that down and then be able to turn it into glycogen and store it in your body to then be able to release it again. So when people are like, oh, I just need to eat this quickly before I go to the gym, the energy that you got is actually from the 24 hours before, not from what you just ate. So when you wake up in a rising on the Monday, you still got plenty of energy. It's fine to train. The day after, I would say I would do more stuff that is like strength based, less cardio based, and
Mm-hmm.
breaks in between. But yeah, I still work out. I go and on the Monday I do my kind of 1,000 pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, dips, all the body weight training, and then today usually I'll do something like a yoga session, or I will do like a strength-based session where it's less reps and more slow and controlled.
Mm-hmm.
So trying not to just like sweat loads and get the heart really in a high heart rate.
And what's the longest you've ever actually done a water fast, consecutive days?
Just 7 days.
Just 7 days.
Not gonna pretend like I'm some high vibrational guru who can just survive on just air. I'm not there yet, but I'm working.
Breatharian.
I'll eventually,
Ah,
eventually be a breatharian. Some of my friends have done it and they were like, it's just, you
yeah,
just become a genius.
I think I just said that wrong. But breatharian is the right way to say it. uh, hmm?
Read it in Dr. Africa, right?
Yeah, I actually have that book right here.
He's
Ooh,
got a whole chapter on
I'm also reading
breatharian.
his book on melanin. It's really interesting.
Uh,
Really, really interesting.
yeah, that book is an amazing book. Actually, if you want to go further, let me see if I can get, because you're on the stack right now. If you want to go further, or anybody wants to go further, um, and interested in chemistry, I mean, some people just want the simple version of things, but some people want to go deep into the science. If you're really interested in the chemistry, this book here. Oh wait, let me turn. This book here is an amazing book.
The science, the myth of the science and the myth of melanin.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's dense. It's dense, endocrine system, nervous system, like control of MSH secretion. Like, it's like, if you want to be able to speak to a biochemist
Mm-hmm.
about why melanin works,
Mm-hmm.
this is the book. Because Dr. Africa's book, Dr. Francis Cress Westling's book, and some of the other books have been written in a way that they're to get to the person who has an average understanding of science. This book has been written for PhD students, MDs, etc., etc. So you read this book, and then you'll get the actual full understanding from thermoregulation to excretory function to absorptive function, skin pigmentation, melanocytes, and everything that is to do with. Because sometimes, people go, no, melanin, yeah, man, the thing good, yeah, melanin, and they can't explain further than why it's
Mm-hmm.
good, right?
Can you
In
give us the
terms of,
title of that book again? Is it The Science and the Myth of Melanin?
yeah, Science and the Myth of Melanin
Of
by T.
Melanin.
Owens.
Okay. Someone
So he's
asked for the
actually,
title again, so yeah.
yeah.
And is it true that melanin is sold by the gram?
You went there. Yes, it is true.
I've seen the link.
Yeah.
And why? And why?
Well, the Italians, the French, not all of them, but groups of doctors, pharmaceutical scientists, Germans and Japanese, have for many years, every 3 years, been holding a conference. It's called the Pigmentation Conference, and black people aren't invited. But that's where they go to show each other results of what they've studied about us. And like Dr. Africa said, a drug is only effective if it slows down, if it speeds up, or it destroys melanin. That's the only way that a drug is effective, because every cell has a brain, and the brain cell of every cell is called the nucleus, and the nucleus is black, which is melanin. All it is just carbon. It's just a civilized, it's a human civilized version of carbon, right? And then some groups who have considered themselves melanin deficient, this is by their definition, not by mine, and have kind of studied their own genetic disposition and found out that they have Neanderthal DNA and all of this stuff that, you know, deep melanated people have. So deep melanin is called EU melanin, and light melanin. So white people have melanin too, but they have a different type of melanin. It's called pseudomelanin or phytomelanin. And that melanin is less reactive, less adaptive, and generally speaking, it's a recessive version of melanin. If you look at all animals have melanin under their wings, etc., etc. You see a lion, its eyes lined with black, its mouth is lined with black. If you see an elephant, when an elephant gets into the water, you see how black it is. When it's out of the water, it covers itself in dust, and we think that elephants are gray, but their skin, to cope with the African sun, is deeply melanated. And so some groups who were less melanated said, well, we want to start taking melanin and injecting it into ourselves so that we can become more intelligent and become more healthy. Because if you look at somebody who you would say is sick, so if you were to get sick, your skin would go pale, right? You'd say, oh, I'm pale, because your melanin is not working, it's switched off. So, and healthiness is associated with tan. That's why various groups go to these tropical places and they try to tan. And the problem with a lot of them is that they do it in a way, they're not plant-based, they're exposing themselves to the sun at like the highest hours of sun, and their skin burns, and then they get angry, and then they get skin cancer. And actually the places with the highest skin cancer in the world are South Africa, Israel, and Australia, because the people who live there, the Europeans who moved there, didn't really adapt well. Though they acted like they didn't really adapt well. And so what they've done is they created like tanning beds, but it goes all the way back to like the Victorian era, when slavery was still going on, and you would have European women in particular trying to emulate African women. So they would they created dresses that tried to imitate Africoid hip development. So they created the corset. There was no corsets in Africa, right? They created this thing called a bustle. So this thing would come out of their back, and it would make them look like they've got ass, right? They started painting on beauty spots, which is just melanin waste trying to eject itself from your skin. But they saw that, you know, African women had that, and so they painted on, and that's what, well, they're painting on blackness, and they called it a beauty spot, right? They started adopting these wigs to try and imitate Afro hair and all these things. And the reason why they did this is because they felt inferior next to indigenous and African women, because their men were leaving them and not coming back. They were moving to the tropics. They were going to well, I mean, you know, be sexually violent to indigenous women, but they weren't going back to Europe. And so the European women tried to be black women. They did everything that they could in their power to be black women. And now what you have in the 21st century is you have the tanning industry, which is a really big industry. Mm-hmm. You have the plastic surgery industry, Botox trying to black don't crack, which is a poison. Like Botox is one of the strongest poisons in the world, actually. So I think it comes from rats or something strange, but they're injecting that into their face, and it's freezing the nerves in their face so that they talk like this, rather than just working out your diet. And then they're injecting their lips to try and have African lips. They are. It really comes from a inferiority complex, and on top of the inferiority complex they built a superiority complex. So they say not everybody, not all Europeans, but like white racism and Europeans as a group have tried to say that Africans are inferior to the degree where their science reflects it. So they would say that, you know, in the back of the African's brain, the African has an area that is bigger, that is a bigger area in the brain, where the brain is responsive to what do they say now? Sedentariness, or I think I can't remember. They tried to say that the European's brain was more developed for intelligence and the African's brain was less developed. They came up with all kinds of rules like drapetomania, which drapetomania was a law. Well, it was illegal to run away if you were a slave, but then drapetomania was the science behind justifying a mental illness that black people had because they just wanted to run away. So if you ran away, you were seen as a mentally ill, drapetomanious patient, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think a lot of this comes from just not understanding, because as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as whiteness. Whiteness and race is a social construct. There are Germans, there are French, there are Italians, there are, you know, Euro Americans now, though I think it's kind of audacious to claim ancestry to a country that you murdered your way into, but that's another conversation. Mm-hmm. And blackness has only been created as this idea as an otherness to whiteness. So that's why when people say fruits, for instance, are exotic, that's as an otherness to fruits that are non-exotic or non-normal to Europeans. But really, tropical fruits are just our fruits, so they're not exotic. That's just our diet. That's what we're supposed to eat. And given that indigenous people actually populate the planet across the equator to the highest degree, from India to Africa to South America, etc.
And are the majority, not the minority.
Exactly. So when you say you're a minority, you're actually giving power to be put into all kinds of legal, verbal contracts when you say, and physical, when you sign away your kind of inalienable rights to the planet. You will settle for civil rights over settling for human rights, right? And when you settle for civil rights, black in the dictionary as a term is called civilitas mortis, which basically means you're legally dead. So if you are a civilian and you're legally dead, when police are killing you, technically, as the USA is a corporation and you have a birth certificate which basically bonds you to that corporation, they're terminating property. They're not killing people legally. So when you say to people, I'm a minority, you're literally saying, for instance, when you start a business, that you're a minority, you're a minor, and you aren't able to actually be the parent of your business. So you need a parent. Getting a loan from a bank, and then the bank starts controlling all your assets, so on and so forth. But going all the way back to melanin, typically genes are dominant and genes are recessive, and phytomelanin is recessive, and EU melanin, which is deep melanin, that is dominant. And some people would say that phytomelanin is inferior and EU melanin is superior, but that's semantics. I just think that anybody who tries to rationalize a superiority complex, which is based on an inferiority complex, when we can clearly see that Africans are the best at dancing, singing, sports. We have the history and the architecture to show that we created human civilizations and all religions. And then you say to those people, well, actually, you're inferior. That is an inferiority complex. And you say it's a superiority complex. They say white supremacy, white supremacy. It's not white supremacy. It is white inferiority. And the same thing happens with every single social function. So men will say to women that women are less able to lead because men have an inferiority complex. So they create a superiority complex to justify their psychological illness. People who are rich will try to justify that homeless people are just useless in society. And it's their fault for being crazy and not going to school, and they take drugs and they drink alcohol. It's like, but actually, no human wants to be poor. No human wants to have psychological problems, and no human wants to be having run-ins with the law and not have a home. But to justify accumulating all this wealth, look at the 593 billion that what's his name? Bezos, Zuckerberg, and Musk have gotten in the last 4 months. To justify billions being owned by 4 people, we say that the masses of people, they're not worthy of that amount of money, and they wouldn't know what to do with that amount of money, and all of these stupid things when humans are clearly intelligent. And so I figure that actually, rather than attack people, we should understand the psychology behind it, because everybody says how bad it is to be black, but nobody understands or cares, because we're always focused on black and otherizing a massive group of people. Nobody understands what the psychological ramifications that it has behind being the social construct of white. And being white, literally, if you have a complete system that is set up to perpetuate your inferiority complex, it becomes a mental illness. That's why people are like, oh, but what about all the Karens? And it's like, they're not just people who you see on a phone camera. Like, they're your school teachers. Like, they're the people who work in Congress. Like, they're all those people. That's why the system is the way that it is. The system would become better and more advanced if we started looking at people who need psychological care, because I think that most men, if they've been raised in a Western society and in society period, need re-education as to what sexism is and how it affects society. Because you're trying to eliminate, the her story. In eliminating her story and only having his story, then you eliminate 50% of what a human is. And then you become confused, and then you don't have balance, and then, you become violent, and you have what you have. So I figure that melanin is a part of it. And if we aren't understanding and studying it and nourishing it properly, then we aren't able to be fully human. But I also think that all of the social constructs that have been created need to be dismantled. The power needs to be diluted and shared, rather than some people owning billions because they have this whole white man's burden, manifest destiny, we are supposed to control the world and rule the world. But it's like, actually, you were ruled by Moors in Europe longer than you have been ruling the world. You've been ruling the world for like 400 years or 500 years, but Moors in Spain and Portugal and the Iberian Peninsula literally taught you math, science, architecture, farming, agriculture. Like, they taught you all of that. Then you kicked them out, and then you went on the conquest around the world. But before the 11th century, you had Saint Maurice, Septimus Severus, who was the leader of the Roman army who ran Britain at one point. You had Saint Nick. Saint Nick was black. The Father Christmas, Santa Claus, Saint Nick was black. You had all of these saints. The Pope right now, you can Google it, the Pope praying to a black Madonna and black baby Jesus, because they used to rule you because they knew what they were doing. Now, Europeans rule the world, and the world's being destroyed. So I think that black women should rule the world. That's just my opinion.
And can you expand on that, being the original human, responsible for all life? and producing every so-called what they consider to be race or version of human, you know.
So do African people can have a child of all complexions. Two European genetically recessive child. Just there's more genetic difference in the continent of Africa alone than there is in the whole of the rest of the world, right? That's just a fact. And hue meaning color and man meaning spirit. That's what man originally meant, was spirit. That's why we call our children sons, because we're supposed to raise them as sons of light before you raise them as spirits, before you raise them as a material human. You have what has been coined as the Eve gene, and the Eve gene, if you look back to Australopithecus, or her name Dinkinesh or Dinkesh, comes from Ethiopia, so she's the oldest relation of humans, and that was a black woman that lived in Ethiopia. Now, if we continue as men, black men, white men, African men, Indian men, to subjugate women, then what we're doing is we are holding back life. When we had the biggest and fastest advancements in human evolution, I'm not talking about capitalism, I'm talking about living in symbiosis with ecology, with within an ethical and sustainable kind of life, liberty, we call it in Rasta. We were sharing with women. So, for instance, when that stopped was when kind of the Greco-Roman control of thought and society was being established. But that wasn't able to be established without those Greeks going to Egypt to go and study anyway, because they didn't know half of the stuff that they've been doing in Egypt for thousands of years. But there was a man called Plato, and he wrote a book. The book was called The People's Republic. And in The People's Republic, he justified slavery. He likened anything to do with African spirituality, he called it paganism. So pagan comes from. And he basically equated the woman to property, so cattle being sold for money, etc., etc. And during that period of time, he also there was also this theory. It was called the Hellenic theory, and the theory was one of which where men decided. They just decided this, no science, but they decided that women were more emotional, they were less able to lead, they were more irrational, and they were more illogical. And they decided that men were more logical, more likely to be leaders, less emotional, and more rational. And so they said, well, women, you aren't to do with any of the organization of society anymore because you can't do it. This is crazy because, like, at the turn of the 20th century, women weren't allowed into the Olympics because they said that they might have their period. Like, you think that that's crazy now, but that it has been justified and reinforced by years of academia, which, you know, now the West has adopted as the forefront of popular thinking. But it's like when during the Egyptian dynasties, there were 4 female pharaohs. That means at the time, the Egyptian dynasties being the biggest empires in the world, 4 women ruled the world, basically, right? This is like thousands of years ago. This is like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago. Women literally ruled the world. And then that kind of whole Greco-Roman thought came in, where you had this idea of the Adonis male, where, you know, a man's body defines a civilization, and that's where you have all the art to reflect it. You have all these Greek gods and that are male, and then you have like Aphrodite, right? You have like a couple that are female, and so you have this idea where men have decided that men are the best. They just decided it on their own, and they started subjugating women. Rome didn't get it right. The height of the Roman Empire, 25% of the people were enslaved, and they they decided that men were great, so much so that all of this homoerotic behavior came out of this thinking, because women were just for babies. Like, you don't know what you're doing, you're illogical, you're not rational, you can't lead, etc., etc. And this is where they created the gymnasium. Gymnasium means naked training, literally translates to naked training, where men would go and watch other men train naked because of how awestrucken they were with men. This is a perversion of balance, because yes, men are beautiful, but women are beautiful as well, and you should have an equal balance. You shouldn't be like, men are everything, and their art reflects that. And then it goes a stage further where they started indoctrinating the babies, and that's where kind of pedophilia entered into art. And that's, you have all these cherubs that are naked, and it's like, but why are all these naked babies at these parties where grown men are drinking wine and stuff? And it's because they were raping them, and they were indoctrinating these babies into this society. It then got taken further in Rome, where they used to take all of the sex slaves up to an area called Capitol Hill. Capitol Hill was where all of the politicians went to have their sex orgies and parties. Capitol Hill is now what we call Washington, D.C., the head of global politics, right? So they keep doing this thing, and like, you know, the symbology kind of rears its head again and again. Like, this is called an obelisk, and this comes from ancient Egypt. And it's a symbol of, it's a phallus symbol, but it's a symbol of the meeting of the earth and the sky. So it's supposed to be the two things meet and you create a balance. Whereas you see this erected in Paris, in Washington, in London, etc., etc. And this is basically saying, look, we conquered Egypt. This is a man's penis, and man's penis is going to rule the world. Now what is happening? Men are destroying the world because they're not able to ground into their root chakra properly, because they're being told that they are it, like they are everything. And so there's a psychological imbalance with men thinking that they are supposed to rule the world. It's like, dude, if you're supposed to rule the world, then why is why is the world about to be destroyed? It's not women that are CEOs and own all of the Fortune 500 companies. It's not women that run the military. It's not women that run the police. It's not women that run any of the governments in the world. You might have a few women who are at the face of it, but they don't actually run everything. It's still men that run everything. And they're greedy. And I remember being in Somalia a few years ago, and we were speaking with a bank about doing a kind of a microfinance so that we could try to get as many people starting businesses as possible. And the bank said that for every dollar that is given to a woman through work or through loan, she puts 80 cents of every dollar into the home. For every dollar that is given to a man puts 40 cents of that into the home, and the rest he spends on himself, right? Not saying that there's not good men out there, but these are just statistics. And I don't want to beat people over the head with statistics, but 80% of the women that are murdered in the world are murdered by a partner or a man that she knows. They're not murdered by women. So clearly there's an imbalance. And I think if we start to bring balance back and, you know, kind of create a unison between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, because ultimately divine means divided, right? It's supposed to be united, right? So when you say divine, you're saying, or divine masculine, you're saying you're separate to woman. You say divine feminine, you're saying you're separate to man. But women have masculine energy, and men have, or males have feminine energy. And you're able to turn up the masculine energy if you're a woman. You're able to turn up the feminine energy if you're a man. And that's what's supposed to happen when you have sex, is you're supposed to create an equal balance between masculine and feminine. The woman turns up her masculine, the man turns up his feminine, so you can become a unison, and then you can achieve an orgasm, which is the highest reward given from God, which is God spirited. But a lot of people just get climaxes. They just get their nut and they're like, yes, that's what I did. And now if you look at women having been used for years for men to get off on, and it, you know, it shows its head in the music, it shows its head in advertising, it shows its head in the injustices. Like, why is it that people are getting longer sentences for robbing a bank than they are for raping a person? And then we create a rape culture around that. What was she wearing? You know, where was she going? Who was she speaking to? Why was she acting like that? And it's like, actually, so now money is worth more than human life. And it didn't used to be that. Women didn't get the right to vote in France until, what, 1944? I think America was like 1918. And it's like, you can't call yourself the leaders of the free world if 5,000 years ago in Africa, women were ruling it. And then you brought in a system of capitalism where women aren't allowed to do anything or rule anything anymore. You colonized people. So you ruled 90% of the continent of Africa. And then you tell us that we're uncivilized. So balance is a major key. This, my mother taught me that.
Yes, indeed. That's actually a law of the universe, polarity itself. So thank you for sharing your knowledge. And I know there's so much more. And anybody that is out there that wants to tune in, tap in, and expand your knowledge, I suggest you follow Chakra Bars, CHAKABARS. Can you also tell me regarding your foundation, not I Heart Africa, but the other with elephants that I asked about earlier, but I didn't catch the actual name? Is there a handle for that where we can donate, or is it just exclusively through GoFundMe?
I set up a GoFundMe now. It's gofundme.com/free the elephants.
Free the
We got like
elephants.
20.
Okay.
I've spent like, I've been caring for them now for like 3 months. I'm spending average like $6,000 a week on feeding them fruit. Sorry, $6,000 a month on feeding them fruit. On average, because I do like anywhere between $150 to $250 a day on fruit for them elephants, and they're huge. I set it up as just a way to just be like, yo, let's free them, because I want to shine a light on animal cruelty in a bigger way. I think that the rest of my life is going to be spent caring for women and animals and children. And, you know, I've been the masculine man. I've been in the military. I was in Iraq at war when I was 19. Like, I've sold drugs. I've ran around with guns. I've been that kind of ultimate kind of masculine idea of masculinity within this society. But I've realized that actually to really be a man is to be a protector. And to be a protector is to be balanced. You cannot be a protector if you're also destroying what you seek to protect. And so I remember being in a restaurant years ago, and the waiter, she came up to us and she said, "How you doing today, guys?" It was a vegan restaurant. She said, "How you doing today, guys?" And we said, "Yeah, we're cool." She said, "Are you creating or are you destroying?" And I was just like, well, damn, there it is. What you guys, we was in the meeting, was like, yeah, we're creating, but she's like, well, good, because if you're not creating, you're destroying. I was like, wow.
Wow.
So I'm gonna leave it there because I need to go eat again.
I appreciate you. Every Sunday, 11:59 p.m. 36-hour power fast. Chakra Bars conducts it. If you need guidance and a plethora of knowledge, awareness, consciousness, follow him. And Fruits and Roots is also a Black-owned company by Shaka, and I Heart Africa is one of the beneficiaries. So, iHeartAfrica.org, free the elephants on GoFundMe. Anything else? Closing words? I appreciate you giving us all of this knowledge in such little time and hopping on this impromptu live.
I'm about to send you a care package because I have sage. but I also
I need some of that ASAP.
use a bottle. Have a bottle. I'm also about to start a tea company, and I'm about to start a book company. So as soon as I'm any like book lists, so tea company, book company, fruit company. It's all holistic. It's all natural. But peace and love and respect.
Peace and love. All right, you guys. I think that almost makes 5 hours on IG Live. I was actually looking down at some of the comments so I could ask the questions that you might have. But no, I'm not tired. I'm actually in the middle of one of his 36-hour power fasts. I'm not trying to wrap anything up. I'm not sleepy. I saw some of those jabs. But yeah, I'm just on water for 36 hours. My power fast ends tomorrow at 10 a.m. And he conducts it at 11:59 every Sunday for 36 hours straight. If you're interested, and it basically resets the body, re-energizes it while allowing it to heal and replenish itself. But the knowledge of this man, you know, he's definitely recommended a lot of books that I've brought into my life just to sort of be very aware and conscious about how the world works, how our human bodies work, and some of the things that we need to unlearn as people globally for just the benefit of us functioning as human beings and either societies or a group of individuals, but collective. So I really appreciate anytime I can tap in and follow or at least converse with woke people because hey, we're all students, right? Anyhow, I had fun with all of you guys tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I had no plan on being on Instagram Live for 5 hours, but some of you guys came on here with me. The point of this was to talk about the new video that just dropped and just kind of give some encouraging words in this chaotic time in our lives. But yeah, the new video is called Space and Time. I shot it in my hometown, the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and on Black-owned land. And I'm an independent artist that owns her masters and support each other, support Black-owned businesses, support positive movements, and I love all of you. Hope you like the new art. And yes, Jax wants to say good night wherever he is. He was snoring in the conversations. You probably heard him. Come here, Jax. My voice is a little tired, but I'm not. I'm ready to do a marathon right now. But yes, much love, much respect. The book that he was referring to, Iman Mars, it was, oh, my memory and my fog. Let's see. The Science and the Myth of Melanin by T. Owens, I believe. And the book that I was reading, someone asked earlier, but I didn't reply because he was speaking. Well, there is a couple books that I'm reading. This one is by Dr. Africa. It's called Melanin, What Makes Black People Black. It goes into the science. It's a short read. Science of melanin, its functions. This is also another one regarding how we're supposed to eat, when we're supposed to eat, food combination, spirituality. This is called African Holistic Health. And there's others that I'll share as well. But yeah, those are some of his book recommendations that I have gotten into finally during this quarantine and stationary time. It's been a long night. I had fun hanging out with you. Jax, any closing words? Hey, man. You ready for your walk? Are you ready for your walkie walk? He's ready. Much love, everyone. Sleep tight, or wherever you are in the world. Have a great day. I will see you later. I have not, no. I'm not doing the challenge every Sunday, but the next vegan challenge is August 1st through the 3rd, finishing on the 4th. And details are on mayamaya.com/lifestyle, mayamaya.com/events. You can also get the starter guide in the lifestyle section. It's free. I crafted it, and I'm currently working on the audiobook along with the 10th album, 14th studio project overall. Much love. I'm going to shut up now and let you guys go to bed. I don't even know if I can post this live. I wasn't ready, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll save it. Good night. Blessings.